Welcome to Hot Comics Plopcast number 23. The main topic is all of your best picks for comics of the summer or the year of 2014 so far.
All the good comics.
Okay.
And then we're going to start with a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy talk.
As a warm-up.
Warming up with some Guardians.
So what did you guys think of Guardians of the Galaxy?
It was amazing.
I loved it.
I like
We
it.
actually
Well,
had
okay,
really-
that
okay,
wraps
that's
up.
it. So next
No, that's everybody's consistent. I mean, everybody really liked it.
I'll tell you why I liked it. It had nothing. It was a character-based movie. It had nothing to do with the plot. And I saw it 3 times. I really enjoyed it.
I'm only on
we saw
2 right
we saw
now.
it twice. Yeah, we saw it
Yeah,
twice.
and I just really enjoyed. Like, I could have come in any point in the movie and just loved it. The soundtrack was amazing. The characters.
The soundtrack was brilliant. I mean, that was a really brilliant
And then we
stroke.
were just talking. You said like it really brought back the energy. It harkens back to that adventure like space comic from the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it brought the.
It
It was
just,
about
like-
the cosmic stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it had like that. It also has like a swashbuckling swagger feel to it. That's what I really liked about it.
You know, I was like, I was hoping that they weren't going to do an origin thing, but they did because they always do, and I should have known
They have
that. You know, but and I was like, I just want to see him get into it. That's the only thing that I was a little frustrated with, where it's like, I fucking know who these people are. Let's fucking do this, but I know everybody else doesn't.
But
So
you mean
it's my own
as they were-
personal problem. I get it.
Personal problem.
It's a personal problem, but even so. Any moment with Drax, I mean, he had the best lines. He was so good. Like, the Rocket Raccoon
first
works.
autistic
like,
superhero.
I know, that was the cutest little story on the internet where...
No, I'm serious, dude.
No, I get it. I just love the fact that you dived right up and brought it in.
I loved it. It's like it's a little over your head.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Nothing goes over my head.
Yeah, Drax had the best
I
lines.
like that
of
Drax
anyone.
is a WWE superstar wrestler, and he was stealing scenes.
And he was doing, like, when you first meet him, it's a little awkward, I feel like, because you don't know the character yet, so the way he's talking, you're not used to it. But once you get past that, it's like, oh my god, this is
Were
amazing.
you dying when after they come out of the bar? And they're like, by the way, where's Drax? And they turn around and just decided to just call the entire armada. And
Such
it's
a
just
dick.
a drunken,
Well, I wanted-
angry Drax with like an entire like fleet of ships coming in.
I wanted more
couldn't
bar
stop
scene.
laughing.
No, that
the
was really
bar
funny.
scene
That was a really
killing
cute
it.
shot where he's just like that.
I just loved how you would go like,
Yeah.
and you, the green whore, you are my friend.
Yeah, you are my friend.
It's just like, you just stop.
So you guys read the
fantastic.
comics. You've been reading the Guardians of the Galaxy comics before.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel knowing that, going into it? How did that affect your review?
I felt they took what they needed to for the movie, but it was definitely its own thing. But it definitely had the flavor of the Abnett Lanning.
Because they didn't
Stuff.
They didn't use the original team.
Yeah.
They had
No.
characters from the original team, but like those characters were placed somewhere else in the
It
movie.
was all the Abnett stuff. Like,
Yeah.
when, you know, what was the big cosmic storyline in like the 2000s, early 2000s that sort of relaunched?
But not Infinity Gauntlet. Not
No, it wasn't Infinity
War.
Gauntlet. It was Abnett and Lanning. That's the creative team who are no longer
Don't
together.
remember.
It was a big storyline that sort of reintroduced the characters. It reintroduced Drax as not a big dumb character,
Right.
but is sort of more of a thinking character, which they totally disregarded.
They're like, no, we're just be muscling this.
No, but the thing that Abnett and Lanning did, which was, maybe look it up on the computer. The thing that they did, which was in the 2000s, mid 2000s, was they gave that more of the sort of the way they related to each other was a little more off the cuff. It was a little more like it was cosmic comics, but it was less formal.
Yeah,
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like that sensibility is in the movie,
absolutely.
which was definitely in the comics.
Oh man, Star-Lord, like Chris Pratt is America's new sweetheart, man. Move over, J-Law.
I've loved
Chris
that
Pratt.
dude forever.
Like,
dude.
and especially like Jurassic World coming out. I mean, he's gonna be in that.
You fell into the
Did you
pit.
see
He was
the?
so good.
Because I'm just gonna fanboy out for a second, but did you see the photoshopped of Indiana Jones, but with Chris Pratt's face?
No.
Oh, it looks awesome.
No.
Like, and it's just now I've got like this hope of, well, can we just do that instead for Indy?
Okay,
Can
but
we
did
not
you
do Harrison Ford again?
Did you see?
Not Shia?
I don't want to see Harrison Ford again.
Did you see the sort of photo? It wasn't Photoshop, but it was in the lair of the collector.
Okay.
There is Warlock's cocoon,
Cocoon's in there.
and it's
No, no.
open.
No, no.
Warlock's not in it.
Cavalorn, Adrian Bott, he has a theory that that's going to be Star-Lord's
I think.
dad.
I think.
And I think
it's
he's
gonna
I
right.
think he's full of light. It has to be.
It
He's
has
an
to be him.
angel.
Yeah,
By the way, they think he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, but then
That's the
again,
theory
my
I'm
whole
going
question
with.
though, I did
He's
have
brooding.
a
Yeah.
couple of weird
time we got?
moments where Yondu was like, why didn't they deliver? Why did they keep this kid? Why did they keep him? Is my question.
I thought it was kind of like a drunken lark.
You know, yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I think is what happened. Is like Yondu. Like, okay, it wasn't clear in the movie, but this is what I've pieced together, which is what I think is what's going on. So in the end, when Yondu, he gives him the switcheroo and he gives him the knot.
And there's
Infinity
the
Gem.
smile.
And then he opens it, and he's glad that he didn't give it to him. He's like, I'm glad that he took it because we don't need this, but I can't look like a bitch in front of my space pirates. You know, I got to look like I'm fucking gonna kill you.
They love each other.
You know, but he really does. Like, I think that he wanted a son, and like the kid grew on.
And then you also kind of see like the fact that like, okay, he's not gonna be like me. He's not gonna be like a space ravager.
Yeah.
Like,
doesn't that make
he's
you
kind of
wonder
stepping
why
out
they
on his own.
kept him away from his dad?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
hadn't even thought about it.
It's a little weird. Like that part of it of me is I'm like,
maybe they were afraid what would happen to him if they gave him to his dad.
But why would Adam Warlock get Ravagers to pick up his son though?
He wouldn't.
I mean, he would go get him himself.
At least no Adam Warlock that I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it must have been somebody else who was
Movie
claiming
universe
to be
could be
his,
right.
like, what if it was somebody who was claiming to be his dad or something? Who knows? I don't know.
The thing is, there is no set Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, there's different like variations and like versions of him in the gauntlet.
yeah.
But
I think everyone knows like the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War. Like,
The one, but the
Warlock.
story I know is the story where Adam Warlock meets the Magus, who is the future
It's
self.
the future him.
He's
Yeah,
the
that's
future-
evil.
Maybe that's his dad.
You know,
The future
the
Warlock.
Magus. Yeah.
Because
Maybe
to
that's
me,
why
the
he's kind of
greatest,
a
story
dick.
the greatest story of all time is Warlock killing himself. When I read that as a kid, I was like,
Yeah, it was nuts.
yeah.
I had it's in the Essential Warlock.
All right.
All right. So
That was
Alright.
pretty good. That was our warm-up topic. We need to,
Moving
before
on.
we go into the meat of the show, we need to do a calendar update and a show update.
Okay.
So we're just now wrapping up the season.
We're wrapping up our season of the Comic Book Girl Named Teen Show. We said this earlier on. I have no idea what episode we said this, but we said that we're gonna try to wrap up in September. Was it? What was our? So it is September. So we are wrapping up, and then we're gonna go to a.
But we're not stopping putting videos in.
We're not starting putting videos. We're gonna start putting out our cosplay videos because right now we're making a ton of things for the calendar, shooting things for the calendar, all sorts of stuff this month going on, and so we're gonna start putting out videos for that.
There's some pretty cool stuff kind of sitting around the studio right now that I can't show you. But
Yeah, it's
they're
pretty
hard
nuts.
at work.
Yeah, there's a
There's
lot
some
of
pretty rad stuff.
a lot
I'm
of
having
cool
a hard
stuff.
time keeping it to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
it's
so exciting.
so.
These sheets
And
are
then-
literally covering like guns.
For anyone that's new here that might not know, the calendar will be finished and coming out end of November, beginning of December.
Yay!
Well, sometime in November. We're hoping for before the end of November, but we'll see how it goes.
For the
Okay.
next year.
Yeah, but yeah, it's for 2015,
2015.
a 2015 cosplay calendar. It'll go back on sale once we, get them in and have them ordered and all that stuff. So you'll have a chance to buy one later on, hopefully next month or two.
So,
Gotta hustle, man.
Do you guys want to jump into the comic book territory?
Sure.
All right.
It's a lot of.
Let's just start with Daren and tell us some topics of the
How
comics,
about
the
you
titles
do,
that
you do a
picked
comic you want to talk about. You'll do a comic you want to talk about. I'll do a comic. We'll just go. We'll cycle.
Let's kind of run through
We'll
this.
cycle.
I'm going to start with something new, and I'm going to give a shout out to my favorite comic book writer of all time, Ed Brubaker, with the wonderful title The Fade Out, which just came out about a couple weeks ago.
It's so good.
It's like, if you love Criminal and you love that universe, imagine Brubaker taking what he learned from Fatal and making it just widescreen noir brilliance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
And it harkens to, I mean, because I kind of like the fact that they talk about Studio City and they talk about the corrupt cops they're trying to, like, keep away the controversy of getting, like, the studios caught up in, like, the newspaper.
Yeah,
like, or
and
the
there's,
news
like-
for, like, crime and
there's
try to
thinly
cover up.
vi-
Oh, it's so good.
So it's set in L.A. Is it?
it's set in L.A.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's set in the Hollywood system. Ed Brubaker's uncle was a famous Hollywood screenwriter.
Oh, cool.
And so Ed Brubaker's got a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And obviously stuff he can make up on his own.
Right.
But there's like people in there, it's obvious that this is this is supposed to be Errol Flynn, this is supposed to be Montgomery Clift. There's even an allusion to Bob Hope. You don't see Bob Hope, but there's
but
the
the Bob Hope
screenwriter.
stories are really good.
The screenwriter gets his clock like cleaned by Bob Hope because he calls him a communist or something like that in a bar.
But I think what happens is he's also trying to pitch an idea to Bob Hope, and then Bob Hope's not having it, so that's why it turns into this ugly drunken brawl.
But it's really, I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I gotta check this out.
It just
I totally
shows
missed
me,
this
it's
one.
just like you read so many comics that you're like, why am I reading this? But you read this comic and it's like, I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm just super
Yeah,
excited
the
about
first
it.
issue ends with you looking for 5 more pages.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
over.
what are we up to issue number what now?
That's number
This is
one.
issue 1.
Just issue 1 right now.
And this is
Okay.
also under
So it's a good time to jump in then.
their new deal with Image.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk
which is
about Brubaker's
essentially
crazy new deal
where he gets to do anything he wants.
for
For
5
5
years.
Yeah.
But also Sean Phillips. The deal's for the both of them.
Team.
And that's unheard
Packaged.
of. That's never happened before.
I can't. Someone can tell me this, but I can't think of a time in comic book history
Yeah.
that any creative team has ever gotten this deal. It's creator owned. It's all theirs. Image is guaranteeing to put it all out.
Yeah,
All they have to do is write it and draw it.
it's amazing.
For 5 years.
But whatever they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I mean, they could do a flip book of just like pencil sketches that
Now, are they locked
like
in?
stick figures.
Are they locked into where they can't do something for DC or Marvel? Is it like that sort
they
of a
don't
deal?
want to.
Well, I know, but I mean, but that is part of the deal, though. It's kind of like a
I
non-compete
do
deal.
think it's an exclusive
Yeah.
deal.
Okay.
But it's kind of like, hey, Ed Brubaker, you know, I think Ed Brubaker, obviously, since once he started doing Fatale, he's like, I think I'm done doing superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's sort of
I
said
don't
so
think
in
there's
the back of the
anything wrong
comic.
with taking a break from like having to write spandex and capes.
well, there's always plenty of people
he
to
did
do
like
that.
a lot of great
you know?
superhero stuff, and he's not feeling it right now.
Yeah.
But nothing, no
But that's
reason.
the thing. That's the thing. He'll be back at some point. Give him 10 years. He might be back and do something crazy, you know.
Yeah.
But you got to That's the thing about superheroes. You have to take breaks from that at some point, you know.
Absolutely.
Sometimes. And kind
the
of.
key is that you're creatively energized.
You gotta
And
take breaks from YouTube shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reading it just made me excited again. Seeing Ed Brubaker at the top of his form and Sean Phillips. Sean Phillips does some amazing stuff.
No, I was flipping through the artwork because I haven't read it yet, but the art looks fantastic. Because that's one thing with Fatale. I was reading Fatale, and then I kind of you know how Fatale went. It was like whatever. So I quit reading that, and then I always felt like Sean Phillips didn't have enough. You know, like he didn't have enough time or something. You know, the art wasn't quite
You
there.
can see in this opening
But
issue.
yeah, like they're really putting a lot of energy into it.
You can tell it's fun for them.
Yes.
Like I mean, like they actually, because of this deal, they get to work on stuff they genuinely care about.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't think there's any energy wasted.
It's a good starter.
Good
Yeah.
job, Ed Brubaker.
Yeah.
Proud
What's
of you.
next?
So Kirk, what's up for you?
Should I just go straight to? How do I top freaking fade out? How about we go She-Hulk number 8 because we're going to talk about other
Or you
awesome
can't. Okay,
artists.
I am a little behind. I couldn't get issue number 7. I have 8. I couldn't find it anywhere, so it's on. Like I gotta wait for the second printing or some shit. So don't spoil anything.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but I just think Charles Soule. I hope I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
This
I
is the
know.
issue where I'm like, can we please nominate him for an Eisner next year?
You know,
This issue
I
is
think
so
it's in the
good.
mail.
That
I think
good,
it's in
huh?
the mail.
This is so good.
Dude, have
And
you
it's
been reading
just
She-Hulk?
because
So good.
the whole issue, without spoiling anything, not a punch is thrown.
Mm-hmm.
It's all lawyer, legality, them trying to figure out how she's going to take a case
Mm-hmm.
in California and how lawyers will kind of like, hey, can I work for your firm so that I don't have to get a new license in California?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So he's writing his life.
Yeah.
Basically, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's also...
But it works.
But it's also with Steve Rogers, who's now a depowered 90-year-old
Mm-hmm.
man.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and so she's representing Steve Rogers.
Wait, when
in a
did Steve
case.
Rogers become a depowered? What did I miss that?
In Remender's Captain America run.
God damn it! I keep missing stuff here.
Yeah.
It's
This is how Falcon's gonna become Captain America.
It's like now. It's like I haven't bought comics since a little bit before Comic-Con because I've
Right.
just been so crazy doing stuff. I haven't had time to do the fucking thing. And it's like you're gone for like a month and a half or something. You come back and Fury's the Watcher now, and fucking Wolverine's dying, and you're
Yeah, but it's like a
fuck.
soap. It's like watching soaps.
I
Yeah.
know, it is.
You can
it
still
is.
place everybody if you're
Yeah.
there for like
And
5 minutes.
this issue is just
So who's Captain America now?
Captain America is the Falcon.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm done with that.
Not quite yet. I think they're still
It's-
finishing
okay.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But this issue is, I mean, Matt Murdock's in it.
Love it.
And it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And especially like how he writes Steve Rogers, because he's 90 years old and he walks into a room and still every woman in the room is like, oh, Captain America.
Yeah.
And also it really shows how much Charles Soule knows what's going on in the Marvel Universe, because he borrows a little bit from X Factor from Peter David's last run with Jamie, Multiple Man, that whole team.
Yeah.
And that
Madrox,
actually
yeah.
plays into the storyline, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, 'cause
and I'm laughing out loud at one point.
Over here on the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was reading Matrix came out in this one. They meet him, I think, in the end of it or something. But he's like a clone of a clone. He
It's
has
one
like
of his
retarded
dupes.
close too or something.
Yeah, one of
I
his
don't
dupes.
know.
But that's
it was
a
pretty
whole
good.
It's fun.
moral
Yeah.
conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah.
The life of the dupe.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, this dupe is a jerk LA attorney.
Yeah, he's like sleazy, like.
and he
And then
basically
he's
figures
got like copies that are like retarded copies of him that just do his like bidding, like little minion
Yeah.
stuff and answer the phones and.
they're like paralegals.
Yeah, yeah,
But like they're
yeah.
really dumb, brainless, always smiling paralegals.
Like-
That's like what was that Michael Keaton movie?
Yeah, multiplicity. Yeah.
Yeah, because he kept making like dupes and they got stupider.
Yeah.
Stupider.
And it's also like this weird thing where like, well, didn't he recall all his duplicates? And he's like, yeah, but I send him a check every month and we're kind of cool with it. It's really good.
That's
So
This
it
is
seems
the-
to me the best comics are all kind of really meta.
Yeah.
A little
Like,
meta,
the best
but
Marvel ones, you know what I mean? They seem to be about like life,
yeah,
everyday life, not about.
not about like your insane creep, like fourth dimension,
Yeah.
like, mind altering. I mean, Marvel's just writing really fun, true to life
Yeah.
issues right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really liked seeing her pop up in the last Will and Testament of Charles Xavier stuff, the original
Because
Sin
they needed
X-Men
an
stuff.
attorney for that.
So they need an attorney, and like she gets his will, so she's got to get all the X-Men together and do this whole legal shit
Mm-hmm.
with them. And I was like, oh, so excited to see her popping up. So her shit's now popping up in their
See,
stuff.
this is interesting though, this because Marvel in the '70s into the '80s, like you wanted to be on the second tier book. Mm-hmm. You know, like
Yeah,
Frank
they
Miller
do,
was
yeah.
on Daredevil, and they didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't care what he did.
Because he had creative freedom.
Yeah, it's
complete
like
to
if
do
you can
whatever
reach a
wanted.
certain sales point, we'll let your book survive.
Yeah.
That's probably why, like, I love Peter David now with what he's doing with X Factor and Spider-Man 2099. He's writing those peripheral titles.
Yeah.
And they kind of let him do whatever he wants with it. Like, I love his new X Factor team. It is so, like, off the wall weird. But, like, yeah, like you said, like, that second tier
I mean, that's what I'd want to be doing. I'd want to be like, you want to give me like Javelin?
Do you remember that NFL pro, like, superhero that you guys made back in the 90s? I'll take that guy again.
Yeah,
I'll
I
make
want
him
that
cool.
guy. I'm gonna write this shit.
And
for that
the
guy.
other cool thing about Charles Soule is that he just signed an exclusive with Marvel, and it's a very cool exclusive where he gets to finish his stories out with DC that he's already working on,
Oh, nice.
and on top of that, he still gets to work on Letter 44, his creator.
His
on.
creator-owned thing. That's great.
Okay. All right.
So,
well,
but I'm just excited that I get like Soule writing.
yeah. He's good. No, he's
Marvel right now.
He's I'm really enjoying what he's doing. She-Hulk is fantastic, and it is a great companion piece. I feel like to She-Hulk. I am in love with Miss Marvel. It is
Yes.
like it's just lighthearted. It's fun. I know I keep talking about it, but I don't give a fuck. This is amazing. You should read it. Like, Kamala Khan is so cute. She's such a little peach. Like, I love her, and she's just trying to figure it out and dealing with her strict religious parents and all this crazy. And then she has this adventure with Wolverine in the sewers that is adorable.
An adorable adventure.
It is.
It's
It is an
adorable.
adorable.
It's funny. Like, there's this one part where she's going through something. She gets knocked back by some laser beam, and then he's, flying over her head to kill it, and she's just in the background like, holler, like.
But don't forget, like, the whole purpose was when they started the series, her character is this superhero fangirl. Like, she writes fan fiction about
Yeah.
her favorite hero.
And that's what she says to Wolverine. She's like, my Storm and Wolverine fanfiction was upvoted to number 3 last month on the. And
like,
he's like,
she's talking about like a subreddit
yeah,
where you
yeah. And and then he's like, well, what was number 1? And he was like, was it Scott and Emma in Paris?
Yeah.
So the romantic Scott and Emma. And he's like, oh, I hate my life. Like, he was like so pissed.
That's a good Wolverine characterization.
Yeah, it's totally
He's not
like.
the super sexy Hugh Jackman one.
Yeah,
no.
no.
I like the fact he was a little concerned, like the vanity shows a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
why were we only number 3?
Well, it's funny. She says, he tells her, because she has healing factor a little bit. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, I have healing factor like you. And he's like, well, I don't fucking have that shit anymore, Really good joke in here where she's like, so you're just like a short, angry, like hairy little man or something. And he's like, I knew I liked you. She like calls him, she's like, so you're just a guy that punches stuff now? And he's like, yes. And I like you. Thanks. Absolutely. Where is it?
Well, they keep the art fun. That's also the cool part.
I know the art. Like even when they didn't have Alfona on here, they had somebody else, and I still really liked it. It was still
Marvel's so good on their artistic choices.
Oh man, they've been doing.
Can we give them props for that?
Yes.
Even the guest artists, they keep the flavor.
Well, we don't have a title out right now, but the guy who's doing the new Iron Fist series, he's writing and doing all the art, and he's doing like really fun, creative.
Didn't they just ask him like, "What do you want to do?"
Yeah.
And he said, "I want to do Iron Fist."
Yeah, and now he gets to do like weird old school pulp art with like current art, and he's having fun with the Photoshop to tell the story. Yeah, like the artistic choice. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's just you see the creators. Of course they're doing corporate product, but they're allowed some kind of freedom to create a beautiful little piece.
It's it's got a lot of heart.
Marvel.
It's got a lot of heart, and she's so cute, and I love her. And I love that Lockjaw is now the Inhumans. Wolverine's like, hey, you got one over here, but don't bring her in. Like, let her figure it out on her own because she wants to figure it out on her own.
Oh, because it does need to be reiterated that she got her powers from the Terrigen Mist.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's because that's their New Mutants.
Yeah. So she's
We've all so
Medusa
I love that we
sent
get closer and closer to
Lockjaw.
that theory becoming true.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But of course, that's what's I mean, not to go on a tangent, but that's what they're doing because they don't want to put they don't want to. I mean, there's no Fantastic Four book right now.
Yeah, they're trying to fuck over Marvel because they have the rights.
Did they take the Fantastic Four off?
X-Men.
Is that done?
They're doing that on purpose. Yeah, they're
so they
ending
did do that.
Oh,
they're doing that stuff on purpose because they don't. It's like, why should we keep throwing money after something to help somebody else make money?
Yeah.
I knew that was a rumor, but now they actually took the book off. It's done, right? Because
Yeah.
I know they stopped at the Ultimate Fantastic Four. Just in name alone, they didn't want that happening in the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, and then the new Fantastic Four that they launched with James Robinson, that's ending as well. If it hasn't.
So
already.
the characters will just exist in the Marvel Universe in other titles, but there is no Fantastic Four title.
Yeah, but the Inhumans is their excuse to not use the mutants.
Yeah.
Create new characters that aren't the mutant. The new characters will be created through the
We
Inhumans.
called this months ago.
All right. You guys are so great. Okay, so Wolverine though, I really like that Wolverine is becomes her mentor for a couple things because he always mentors younger girls.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Right, which is
the lone wolf
what
and cub thing.
any 200-year-old man would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it makes sense though. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it seriously, and I was like, it makes so much sense because opposites attract. And you think that this guy wouldn't be good with like teenage girls, and it's not, and it's never sexual. It's never been weird. It's never been sexual.
Turns
He's
out
never been a
great with
creeper.
teenage girls.
Yeah.
He's just like he gets, I don't know, part of him is a teenage
What's that
girl
go back
or something.
to?
I don't know.
That goes back to Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, Kitty Pryde, Jubilee, Armor.
Armor's always Armor was the new Jubilee for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also, it kind of makes a little bit more sense now because of how good of a job Jason Aaron did in the the transformation of Wolverine to a headmaster of a school.
Yeah.
So
Great-
now it's
great
not.
writer.
I love Jason Aaron. Right, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Aaron's been killing it, but it's not creepy anymore. Like the whole mentoring aspect of Wolverine that he built up over the last year.
Well, I mean,
I love it.
I've never felt that he was fucking being weird with any of those girls. It's
Right.
fine. He genuinely he doesn't. I don't want to get into it. Wolverine's love life's whole thing. He's with Storm right now. What the fuck? That's more woman than anyone can handle.
That's awesome, by the way. I'm really liking that relationship.
No, me too. I'm glad that they have somebody together. I wish we get.
So Miss Marvel seems to have the spirit of what made Peter Parker cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, that light bulb just went on over my head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when things were new. He was in high school.
Yep, totally.
Absolutely. And she still is in high school, and somebody attacks her when she's in class.
And they're doing a really good job of curating her close friends
and her
as the
family life
cast.
and things like that.
Because that's when I was reading the Steve Ditko stuff, because I wasn't born in the 50s, but they had reprints.
Yeah.
And when I was reading that, I never cared about Spider-Man fighting anybody. I wanted to know if he was going to get a date with Betty Brant,
Yeah.
who worked at the Daily Bugle,
Yeah.
because he deserved it. Man.
No, yeah, this is totally that. And it's fun, and like I said, it just doesn't take itself too
That was
seriously.
the way I
and
felt
I love
about
the artwork choices.
Invincible. When I started reading the trades by Robert Kirkman,
Okay, what's next?
I was just wanting him to get back. I want to get back to his home life. I almost didn't care about him being invincible.
I feel the
Whose
same
pick
way.
is it? Is it back to Daren?
Daren.
Back to me. Okay, I'm throwing out some David Hine, Shaky Kane love.
All right.
Captan Dinosaur. There's a series of one-shots that have been coming out from David Hine, who did Strange Embrace,
and the coffin,
Bulletproof Coffin.
Bulletproof Coffin.
It's just, he's got the most
He's so weird.
Okay, Captain Dinosaur is just a guy with like a dinosaur outfit and a
green
and a
tie.
very large-breasted lunar girl who is his sidekick.
I like that he always has like large-breasted ladies in here.
Yeah, but it's just so they're just the weirdest books, and they're so well written. There was one that was like, I'm not a cyborg, and it was in this sort of one-shot series of stuff, and it was like these two guys who were cops on the force, and the chief goes, one of you is a cyborg, but I'm not going to tell you which one. And so they keep fighting the whole time, the whole adventure about which one's a cyborg. And then, and something about him, like, because he's a dinosaur-based hero, he finds the dinosaur part of his brain, the reptilian. He activates the reptilian part of his brain when he fights people. But it's not certain if it really gives him any kind of edge on anybody. He's like, must activate my reptilian part. It's just, these are comics made by somebody who loves comics and understands them from their beginning to today.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's always just having a lot of fun with like these weird concepts that he has.
Looks like it's got a Madman sort of vibe to it.
Yeah, you know what? I would link it to Mad Men, but way weirder.
Okay. So more like Mystery Men?
Yeah,
Dude,
definitely.
awesome. Okay.
Like on that realm. And he just released a series of like the Cyborg one, the Captain Dinosaur one. And
Dude, you had me at Captain Dinosaur. You know that, right?
I know you love it. He's got like a green tie and a dinosaur helmet.
And the green gloves.
I mean, it's just really fun comics.
That looks cool.
Yeah, it's the opposite of like, that's the one you take into the bathroom. And you read, you know what I mean? Like you read, it takes you like 20 minutes and you laugh.
And hey, by the way,
like nobody goes into the bathroom and reads comics. Come on, guys.
Oh no, I totally do.
I don't know. I'm in and out. I don't take very long. I don't understand why everybody takes so long.
I think it's men. Like our throne room is. The
I think so. I think that's where you guys get away from everything. You know.
Yeah.
So, but it's like
sometimes I don't even need to go. I just go in there.
I just hang out.
I just hang out in there.
Well, that's that. Support Shaky Kane and David Hein, please.
Yeah, no,
fantastic.
He's super weird. It's kind of like the underground comics of today, you know, like that weird 60s fucking shit that like makes no fucking sense and it's just super weird but fun and psychedelic and bizarre and makes you a little uncomfortable, but it's also a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you're so twisted. Your own sense of humor is so
like I love the Daniel Clowes type stuff.
That's like that.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You're up.
Then let's see. Should I just go right? I am going for it. Moon Knight. Let's talk about how cool Moon Knight is. I've been talking about it forever. Warren Ellis started back up, did 6 issues, which they're officially calling season 1. And then Brian Wood is picking it up at issue 7, and that's season 2.
Well, how do you feel about the change?
I like that Brian is trying to keep it still like each issue is its own story. But apparently in season 2, as long as there's still the centralized story, there's also going to be an overlaying like subplot that's going to combine.
Yeah, that's what I noticed in 7, and I didn't realize the change, you know. Right. And then I was reading, I was like, oh, so now they're going to start doing a story.
Like they're actually going to start doing arcs.
Yeah,
but I think the arc is going to take the back seat to what's going on in each individual issue.
But you can still enjoy each one as a standalone.
Yes, which is like why I thought was Warren Ellis' genius.
Well, that's the best of both worlds, you know. If Brian Wood can pull it off, then
I don't know.
But it's a hard act to follow.
Well, the thing with Warren Ellis is he said it himself many times.
He hates superheroes.
He hates superheroes, but I can't think of somebody who he writes the best superheroes.
Well,
the Curse.
But who was it?
He has such a fresh eye on everything.
I think it was Karen Gillian that we all love from like Phonogram. And that in one of his essays,
Avengers.
which I kind of am in love when he writes comic book essays in the back of his comics or on his Tumblr. But he was talking about how no matter what Warren Ellis works on, he still finds the thing that he's in love with the character and brings that out.
Yeah.
So even if he hates superheroes, he's still going to find that one angle that's going to...
He's always going to give 100% as a writer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can tell that with Moon Knight, though, the way he's writing Moon Knight as if Moon Knight himself hates other superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like on his own. He doesn't give a shit about what's going on with other people. He's just doing his own thing.
You nailed it. Like Moon Knight hates himself.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to be loved. Like, why do you wear the white? Because I want you to see me coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was all genius, and everyone's looked at that character, and even Bendis had a good run on Moon Knight.
I like the Bendis run.
But even Bendis didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, when it was created, it was a Batman.
An inverted Batman.
It was a Batman analog.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, he would be the white Knight.
But I like the fact that they're including, like, the Bruce Wayne persona in him being Moon Knight.
Well, I just
like,
love
showing up in the white suit.
Man. I love his
and, like,
suit.
it's not just a Batmobile. It's a really clean, fully automated limo.
And when he's Khonshu, he's creepy looking.
Oh, yeah. No, I love
want to fight that dude.
No, that's the whole
point. Coming at me with the bones
that's the whole
and everything.
point.
Yeah.
So I have, like, this weird kind of strange B movie love for Moon Knight, and now that I love that Marvel's kind of figured out a way, like, well, maybe we can make him an A-lister again, because I also really like that they're writing him into, like, Warren Ellis did a great job with him in Secret Avengers, and I also like that they put him in with the original Sin cast. I want to see Moon Knight come to the forefront in the Marvel Universe. So I think Brian Wood, we'll see what season 2 brings.
Yeah, it's
the thing is,
but definitely season 1. Pick it up.
Yeah,
it's
either individual issues or wait for the trade.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I mean, even like that one issue where it was just like a fight scene, like the whole time, like the whole thing. It was awesome.
It was like Kung Fu.
That was so
the game
cool.
Kung Fu, where each level to get to your girlfriend.
I don't know.
No, I'm the only one that remembers this from the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah,
I was
like
Kid
that.
Nicky.
In television, I would be right there with you.
ColecoVision.
Yeah, it's but it was like a video game where it's like you go up each level and then you have dudes you gotta fight, and there's different dudes on each level.
But it honestly reminded me of, I'm talking about Frank Miller again, but it reminded me of early Daredevil.
Yes.
Like a Frank Miller Daredevil. Because when Frank Miller was first doing it, he wasn't doing like the big overarching storyline. He had like a lot of battles in the sewers. And that's like kind of what Moon Knight is getting back to.
Yeah, he's definitely got a little bit of Daredevil flavor,
Even the spirit. A little bit, like Will Eisner's Spirit.
Do you want to talk about the Spirit movie, or can we just completely avoid that altogether?
No, we can avoid that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but well, you can say that Frank Miller's new movie, Sin City 2, that he directed was. I didn't see it. You guys said it was terrible. We're not gonna talk about it. We're just putting that out there.
No,
so
I'll
okay.
talk shit about it later.
Okay.
What's next?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yep.
Weird Love.
I love Weird Love. I love it. So
Why
issue.
do you love it?
Well, okay. I've been really into the 60s and the 50s lately. I'm just very fascinated by the era right now, because I think that right now we're in a big turning point ourselves, and we think we're so progressed past that, but it's the same fucking place that these people were. It's like the same shit, different day. And so, anyways,
In certain ways.
in a lot of ways, and this is reprints of romance comics from the 50s and 60s, and they are just fucking hilarious because they pick the weirdest ones that they can find, and the most non-politically correct ones.
They're pre-code, right?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. But even the ones that aren't pre-code are still fucking weird. Like the messages that they're giving, like these girls that are reading these comics, are just totally fucking weird and like not necessarily the best advice. Being a girl.
Well, don't you say? Like,
Would you say if you're a fan of Mad Men, you might like these comics?
Well, if you're interested, if you like the period piece thing and you're interested in learning more about that culture from the 60s and the 50s and like what their mindset was, this is definitely a good thing.
Well, I think the funny part was when we were talking about this before the Plopcast started, that you said that some of them are morality tales, and then others are sometimes like you have no idea how it's going to end.
No, you have
like,
no
there's no
clue.
rhyme or reason
Show
to
that
why.
mink thing.
Yeah, this is like the best one. Like, okay, there's a bunch of really good ones in here, but in the very end, the last one says,
I gotta use it again.
I was a gangster's girl, and it starts off with, it was for this and this and this, and you have a panel of her with jewelry, a mink, and cash that she decided to do this.
I would be a gangster's girl for that too.
I know, wouldn't we all? And so she's a gangster's girl. Gangster was like, hey, your ex-boyfriend from like when you were in high school, he's running for mayor or something. You need to start dating him again and give me some info on this guy because I need to know what he's doing because he might fuck up my gangster shit. So she does that.
Don't fuck up the gangster shit.
He falls in, or they fall in love. She falls in love with him, and then at the end, he doesn't win the election. He does not become the whatever fucking dude. And they go to confront him, and she's like, well, I'm going to leave you for this guy. I'm going to go straight, and I'm going to hang out with this guy, and fuck you, gangster. And he's like, oh, yeah? Well, then, you're not going to get your fucking mink coat, like, you got to choose. and she looks at him and the coat, and him.
Look at him, he's
and
like
the
so
coat.
look at
He
this
looks
furrowed
so- look at those puppy
brow.
dog
And she chooses the coat. She chooses the coat. Like, it's so good. And this is something that a lot of people wouldn't understand now, but having a mink coat was a fucking thing back then. You know, that was like, you made it. You made it. You were a rich bitch if you had a fucking mink coat. You know? And like...
I'm a rich bitch.
And no one was concerned about animal rights in any way.
Yeah, no.
No, they were like, they killed a mink for this, like 5 minks for this.
No, they don't fucking care. And there's ones where this lady's a boss and she has to fire her fucking dude that she likes because he's a fucking idiot, you know. And like, she's, what am I gonna do? You know, I gotta fire this guy that I'm in love with, and it's just super weird. And then at the end, he like spanks her. You know, he totally like spanks her for firing him or something. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Naughty.
Yeah. So
I love that you love this.
Oh, this is my favorite. and the first 3 issues of Weird Love are being collected into a trade of some. I don't know if it's I can't remember if it's hardcover or if it's just like a trade paperback.
I heard that you got to write a forward.
I'm writing the forward for Weird Love for their first collection, so it'll be out in February around Valentine's Day. So you can get it for your Weird Lover.
Give us a hint of like what you say.
Well, a lot of stuff I'm just talking about now, where it's just like you just can't.
Rich bitch? Is rich bitch?
I didn't say rich bitch. I don't think.
end the forward with, so get that mink coat, girls.
Yeah, get it, girl. I should have talked to you guys before I did this, apparently. But yeah, this is where it's at for me.
That's awesome. I'm stoked for you.
I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
Cracks
So
me
we're
up.
back to Daren now.
All right, Daren,
Yeah.
you're on deck.
Okay. I'm gonna pick.
Oh,
I'm gonna pick the Silver Surfer.
Yes!
Silver
And
Surfer is so good.
I'm picking the Silver Surfer because I want to go back to it because you guys recommended it to me. Don't think I don't listen to you. It is a book that just I read the first 3 issues, which is one complete story, and I was smitten. I think I would say.
Yeah,
I was smitten. It was just a really well written story, and it was a complete story in 3 issues. And I loved it for that. And he added to the cosmic. He added to the cosmic story, but also made it somewhat like a fable. And I thought the two, like he doing the fable with the sci-fi is kind of a new thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just.
Just
the art, Michael Allred, you know, I mean, he's so perfect
when
for
Michael
this.
Allred is paired with the right creator,
Yeah.
I mean, this is the best thing he's done since X-Force and Ecstatics. As far as and Dan Slott just got, I haven't read Spider-Man since 1989 or something like that.
Right.
But this gave me like so much appreciation for him as a writer.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
Well,
just,
because
And the board, she named the board.
she named the board.
To me.
Yes.
to me.
To me.
To me, my board.
Yeah, to me, my board.
The Silver Surfer is the Doctor Who of the Marvel Universe.
I think you're totally right.
Yeah, he's got the
And
companion.
he's got the companion. The board's the TARDIS. At one point, he goes all of time and space. Anywhere you want to go, where do we start? My Doctor Who love is going to come out right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Also,
of-
Well, I love that
As Dawn is
anywhere
a-
and
yeah.
everywhere. Hang on.
Yes.
Like that's the cutest.
Yes.
It's the
And
cutest.
I'm like goosebumps talking about how great I love this title.
But he's not interested in confusing you. He's
No.
interested in telling actually simple stories
Yes.
with the cosmic background.
And especially because I think Nora and Rad, we were so tired of the Shakespearean, like,
Oh yeah.
like
Oh.
self-reflection.
my balls.
Yeah. Now we've got a companion who's like, can you
Bringing
please
the humanity to him.
bringing the
Yeah.
humanity.
Yeah.
Now he's kind of realizing that not everyone understands that Shakespearean cadence whenever he speaks to people. Like when
Well,
he
I like
tries
that
to
she makes him not look like Silver Surfer. She's like, can you just look like Norrin for a minute? And he's like, well, I don't normally. And she's like, just do it. It's for my dad's dinner. Shut up.
Yeah, can
you
you
know?
silver down?
Yeah,
silver down.
Yeah, silver down.
Silver down.
Like that was like, and he was like, fine. You know, it was so
and then
cute.
the blatant love that Dan Slott throws into the title, especially when he goes, "Come along, Dawn," which was totally "Come along, Pawn."
Yeah.
I can't let go of how much I love this title. And then in the latest one, the Defenders show up.
Yeah.
His old team.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
And it's the Hulk, like how he looked in the past.
Yeah.
With the weird hair.
And I'm also enjoying because they're also including the fact that in the current Hulk run, Hulk has intelligence again.
Yeah.
He's not like Mr. Fix-It, but when Hulk's in charge, he is coherent and it's not all Hulk smash, but he's still always looking for a fight. good.
I just really enjoy.
So good.
I just really enjoy Allred. Anytime he's like drawing Doctor Strange, I just love the way he draws Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I just have to thank you guys for pushing this book.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I really wouldn't have read it without you.
Yeah,
it was,
you're so welcome.
Well,
Hell yes.
Yes. Yeah, definitely Silver Surfer.
I know that was like your pick, but I'm really glad that you brought it up because I wanted to talk about it.
Did you?
Well, what else?
No.
Do you have another pick?
No, I'm glad it was his pick because that's what I wanted. It's like, all right, yes.
Okay, what's next?
I'm going to go with, we can just touch on it really quickly because, again, titles that we keep talking about, but why you need to be reading it. I'm in love with reading Miracle Man as a monthly.
I'm in love with reading.
See, I feel differently. I kind of feel like you know how you were talking about, and we'll talk about this later, Wiccan the Divine. You were saying that you can't keep up with it month to month.
Yeah.
I feel that way towards Miracle Man a little bit because I'm like,
I read them all together.
Yes, I feel like I should read them all.
Really?
Together.
Okay.
I disagree with you.
I'm that guy
But
where
how can I?
I don't.
It's your feelings.
No. I think it's good that we disagree.
It makes it interesting.
It does. It creates conflict, and conflict creates conversation.
I have so much anger towards you right now.
And then
We're not gamers here, all right? We're not.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're.
But I'm enjoying reading Miracle Man because one, I never read Miracle Man.
Yeah, me neither.
I've been waiting for this.
Mm-hmm.
So when they finally I know.
I'm happy.
So
I'm
I know.
happy.
So I am in love with reading by the original writer,
By the original
Alan
writer.
Moore. But I do have an Alan Moore monthly in my life again, and I am in love with reading it on a monthly basis.
And it's one of the great Alan Moore works.
It is.
I mean,
It is.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous because I can never unread
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
read, years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for people that are now getting to read this book that I never thought would be released.
And I'm also getting a history lesson. I didn't know Veach was one of the artists.
Yep.
So I mean, Sidekicks was one of my favorite books.
Oh, you mean Brat Pack?
Brat Pack. That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize he did the art with Alan Moore in this title. And
Alan Moore always uses him because he can draw in any era. Mm-hmm. He can draw the era you like.
Mm-hmm.
oh, I didn't think about that.
That's why he always uses him because he can draw 50s, 40s, 60s.
I'm not in love with the recoloring of this. I mean, I know that the original coloring wasn't specifically maybe fantastic, but it's like this specific art was made not for computer coloring.
I just figured
And
out
I
why.
wish that they would have stuck with
Okay.
flats and
I-
less fucking
I
gradients.
just figured out why we're of two different minds of how we read it. Because everything, you guys have read it before.
No, I haven't read it before.
You haven't?
No.
You don't like the recoloring? I think I love it because I
honestly
never
don't
seen
have an
it. I've
opinion
never
on the
read
coloring. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
I'm a coloring snob. I just
glad that
hate
you
it.
don't see color, dude.
No, I'm so fucking tired of seeing them reprint old comics and then recolor them.
Yeah, they were originally it was a four-color
Yeah,
process.
that's
I mean,
insults whoever originally colored them.
Yeah,
to go
and-
back and redo their work.
And it's like when they again, I've talked about this before, but when they reprinted the Jim Lee X-Men stuff and then it's all
Oh yeah, that
recolored.
didn't work.
But
And,
as far as I
and
know,
it's like no magenta.
as far as I
it's like,
know, though,
fuck you.
these were the wishes of the original artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gary Leach, was the first person to draw Miracle Man, and he himself made the color choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I don't think it's often a good idea for creators to go back to work they did in, say, 1977.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars. Sorry, what?
Where'd that come
No, but a
from?
lot of the Jim Lee's type of artwork is the cross-hatching was done because of the limitations in color. That's why that style developed like that.
Yeah, so when you put, gradient color over it, it just looks fucking weird. Like it doesn't work for me. I don't know. It looks weird to me. I don't know. I just wish they'd stick with flats. But whatever, it's a personal problem.
Of course, no one
Personal
knew
problem.
comics was
But
like that.
but Miracle Man is out there for people to read.
I
never thought this day would come.
Right. Thank you. So that's where my excitement comes from with that title.
Yeah.
So,
no, I've been enjoying it. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
You know what? I'm gonna go.
Wow.
SandMan over Trinity. I just, god damn it, the art is so fucking good. I mean, not to say the story isn't good too, but it's weird. It's like it's doing its own thing, it's SandMan, But fuck, the art. It's just like blows my mind balls.
Williams.
It's like he's just
J.H. Williams is. He's like the best. I mean, he's
I want to
beyond
know,
comics.
like,
at this
I
point.
seriously want to do a sit down and go, where were you early in your life, in your formative years, to come up with these ideas? Like, what was the influence? Like,
I mean,
were you just around, like,
But see,
radiation?
this
Were you...
big change in his art happened with Prometheus, though.
yeah. Yeah,
before that, he was pretty standard. I mean, a really good artist.
Yeah.
But really standard. I think Alan Moore really
unlocked something.
Really opened up. Yeah. Because in Promethea, he got to do anything and everything in one comic. Like Alan Moore would say, I want you to do the tarot. Do all the tarot. Create all the tarot characters. I want you to do the Greek gods. I want you
that's
to do...
a good point.
That to me is where he just really unloaded.
I wouldn't know anything about Promethea if it wasn't 419. So, I mean, that...
Oh, man, yeah, this, I don't know. It's okay that he take as long as you want, J.H. Williams. It's looking beautiful.
But can we also maybe go with that unlike Miracle Man, definitely think this is one where collect the issues, but don't read them. Like, sit down one day when
I'm personally holding off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I can't wait because I just love the art so much. I'm like, I gotta see it.
It's not a light read. This is a heavy read. No, and it's a beautiful read.
Oh, it's just...
No, but I mean, can you imagine, like, I remember being in college and buying the SandMan issues month by month.
Yeah.
And having to read those. I mean, I just can't. There's no comic that's even comparable before or since, like that came onto the scene. I mean, you would take like, I had so little money at the time that me and my buddy like bought each other issue.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So like to see him come back to it and with a creator like J.H. Williams.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's just I love SandMan Cat. There's a SandMan Cat in there that like hangs out, and you know I'm a little bit of a cat person personally. So yeah, I'm a little biased. But I love it. I mean, SandMan would be a cat.
Of course,
you know.
Because he does what he wants.
Yeah, he has been a cat. The Dream of Cat. Yeah.
Do you ever read that?
It's in the original series, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then
it's one of the issues in like the first two or three. I can't remember which one it's in.
It was like there was this story basically that if 1,000 cats all dreamed of dominating, like being the dominant species again, like because they used to be, they were the dominant species over human beings. If 1,000 cats all at once dreamed it, it would happen.
Actually, I believe that's true.
There's such little...
It still might happen.
Beautiful little creatures.
Your cat.
Yeah.
And looked at me.
Kufu knows what's up.
She does. She's a little... She named after a fucking pharaoh. Like, don't name your cats after royalty. Seriously.
That's a good way to give it a complex really early
Yeah,
on.
I know. She's spoiled rotten. It's my own fault. But yeah, SandMan number 3. I mean, maybe it's definitely worth waiting for the trade, but who knows when you're... I mean, that might be another year before you're going to get a trade, too. So
it is one of the first books, like, it came out today. Let me go grab that issue right now.
I waited 20 years for Miracle Man.
Yeah.
My patience is...
Oh, yeah. True. That's true.
All right, what's next?
So, you're up, Daren.
D-Dog. Okay, Deathmatch.
I gotta get this.
Deathmatch.
I've been waiting for this to come out.
Is this the last trade?
The last one.
I have not read the last trade yet.
It's the last trade. It was a 12-issue series. Imagine the Secret Wars, guys. But imagine the Secret Wars if it actually had a purpose. What if these people were all the great heroes you love?
But I thought the Secret Wars did have a purpose, to sell comics.
Yeah, right?
It's just written by Paul Jenkins, who did the amazing Inhumans miniseries with Jay Lee. I don't know about, 10?
It's been that long now,
yeah. It's just such a great book. Of course, Spider-Man's not in it, but there's a character that looks exactly like Spider-Man.
Yeah, Dragonfly.
There's a Batman character who's actually a woman.
Yeah.
And there's a Rorschach character.
Yeah, there's a Rorschach character called the Rat.
And the cool, like, it's smart to do it like that because right away each character is easily relatable and you already know their story.
He somehow writes it that way, though. That's what blows me away. He doesn't like give any explanation about them.
Yeah,
they
you just pick it up. Yeah. You just.
And this is like I read it because they released a $1 issue of it, and somebody in the comic shop I was working at was just like, "Here, read this," and I read it. I go, "This is the most amazing. Why isn't anybody reading this
more?
Yeah,
I need more."
And Carlos Magno, I love his art. Like, I'm really into his art. Like, I really enjoy it a lot.
So this is now all available. Three trade paperbacks. That's the entire story. 3 trade paperbacks, and you've got the entire
I need to
saga.
go pick up that.
I know, I do too. I was even looking the other day at like what's the new trades that came out, you know, and it wasn't over there. I wish I had seen it.
But it's just it really
actually not a lot of people carry it, believe it or not, because I think it is
Well,
it's a Dark Horse.
Amazon, here I come.
No, it's Boom.
Boom. Yeah.
Boom is like,
No, I mean Dark Horse. As
Dark
in,
Horse.
like-
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's Boom Studios, but I'm saying it's a Dark Horse in that you wouldn't think people are
Yeah.
automatically looking for it, but you need to tell people.
It's
about
a
the title.
sleeper agent. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's
There
one
we
of
go.
those,
You
like,
need to go into a comic shop. If the comic shop that you go into doesn't carry it, ask
for it.
Yeah.
You will not regret it. I
You
promise.
won't. You won't. I'm so excited about it. Well,
Okay, what's next?
Kirk, you're up.
Okay, should we? Let's bring some X-Men in
Okay.
because we're hopping around pretty
got
good.
lots
We're
of
kind of like
X-Men.
yeah.
We can-
There's some X-Men I want to talk about.
I mean, we got.
I want to talk about the X-Men.
business.
Just give me the X-Men
We
right
got
now.
this one off.
Oh my God, that's so many
We got
X-Men.
this. We got
Just give
some
me
of
all
this.
the fucking X-Men.
I got all this.
Okay, because I have opinions.
Yeah, well, we could just.
I have opinions.
State of the X-Men Union address.
Some things are really hitting, some things are kind of missing, and then there are titles that are also hitting and missing. I'm still in love with Magneto.
I gotta catch up on this.
Magneto's fun.
I'm missing some of the back issues.
I think Bond's doing a really great job with that. I think I'm actually going to talk like that. I'm upset with Bendis right now. I think Bendis is overusing. I know.
Who?
Okay.
Because I'm like a Bendis fanboy, but I think Bendis is overusing the whole Charles Jr., Xavier, Reyes.
Oh well, yeah, that's so
all the
funny.
characters from the Battle of the Atom stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's cool that we're starting to go somewhere else in the storyline with the Last Will and Testament of Charles Xavier.
Yes.
But I'm actually a little burnt out on those characters right
Well,
now.
it's really funny because like I said, I was a little behind, so I went in. They didn't have all the back issues, so I just got what they had. But I was reading it like, what just happened? And it was like, oh, they just fought Reyes, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't fucking buy those. You know,
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
kinda
I'm
like,
so glad
it's-
that I just got in on this train and just didn't do the whole.
So I'm a little over that.
Yeah.
Also, let's bring
I
over
fucking hate Reyes.
really quickly Wolverine and the X-Men. Because I want to talk about.
See,
this
I just
title.
picked up this issue because it's like a standalone issue.
Right.
But I haven't been reading it because I was like, I read the first couple
Oh.
issues and I was.
And I'll tell you why you dropped off, and then we're really excited because Wolverine, Storm, hot and sexy. They spend a date
A date
in the world.
in the world.
In
From
Phantom
the
X's world.
Phantom X
So
thing.
it's a date that lasts a year. And they have a whole adventure. And obviously, because we're leading up to Death of Wolverine, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
If you're that person who just relishes the soap opera aspect of the X-Men, like we do,
me.
it's a fantastic issue. I also want to talk about the fact that I think Latour has done a fantastic job of keeping up with what Jason Aaron did, because Jason Aaron is definitely a hard follow. That said, the titles that were leading up to this, with the whole Phoenix Corporation, I finally figured out what I was frustrated about. There's a good story in there. Jason Latour really told a good story. Unfortunately, the art didn't.
I know.
And I hate shit talking artists because
know, it's
I'm not an artist and I don't have a job in the comic book industry. But
I mean, there was panels where I couldn't understand what was going on.
and I think unfortunately the artist was really good, but he wasn't great enough to do
Maybe he was
young
rushed.
and older versions of characters.
Yeah, maybe he was
so
rushed.
Maybe he was rushed.
Yeah, who knows what the
Maybe there's
situation
budget,
was. But
you know.
But the thing is like, you know, you had Wolverine and the X-Men when you had Bradshaw and stuff doing it, and it's like you can't. You have to keep that level, man. You
Yeah.
can't-
But it's really hard.
I
Marvel does it
know.
better than almost anybody, but to keep it's monthly.
I know,
Yeah.
it's so
and
hard.
people, the thing
You have to get that concept in your head. Like,
I think people are expecting. I mean, fans expect what they expect of artists nowadays is nothing like compared to what they expected of artists in the '80s, in the '70s. It's like the level now has to be like J.H. Williams.
I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
No, I mean,
I don't know
but-
about that.
all
but-
the time.
But even like it has, I mean, it's just. I think it's really doing a monthly
Well, like,
book
remember,
is really hard.
I mean, for instance, just on a personal level, watching you having to do sketches over at Comic-Con was like, oh, we've only had this much time for each sketch. And then you don't have that much time for each sketch because, by the way, you're drawing from scratch a complete,
yeah.
like,
and
we were running over for every person.
And the thing is, I'm fast.
Yeah,
I'm fast.
you're really
and
fast.
then, like, I was still like, sorry.
So I really do like what's going on with Wolverine and the X-Men, but I think the art was maybe a little rushed.
Yeah.
And maybe I think there was a hard time meeting Like
something was going on.
Because they're double shipping
Deadlines.
a lot of times in
Yeah.
months, you know?
So I
Yeah.
think that's why it lost a lot of steam.
What's gonna happen to Wolverine in the X-Men title when Wolverine's dead?
It'll be Dead Wolverine and the X-Men.
It's just like, it'll
Yeah.
be like Batman.
Zombie
and Robin.
Wolverine.
It'll
the
be
X-Men.
Storm in the X-Men because
Yeah, I'll be
Storm's
cool with
kind
Storm
of
in
the
the
leader
X-Men.
right now. I mean, Storm just had her first issue come out. By
I haven't
the way.
read it yet.
Oh man.
Talk to me.
Okay, so my favorite part. I'll just talk about this one part, which is I'm so glad they're finally doing something with Storm because I felt like my whole life, like growing up, nobody ever did anything cool with her, you know, and I was just like, why not, you know? But anyways, in
I hear
this
Wolverine
comic,
does a lot of cool things with her.
in this comic.
What?
Dog,
What?
There's one part where she's talking to a student who's having some problems, you know, some issues, and the student starts talking shit to her, and the student essentially gives her a troll comment. You know, she says,
Wow.
I'm not going to end up like a sellout like you, you know? And then Storm,
Never heard that before.
I know, right? I've been called a sellout
Ouch.
even. You know,
Not
it's like
cool.
by trolls. But then later on, she's like, sellout. You know, it's a stupid, lazy insult, and she's just a kid, and she doesn't know. Shouldn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. And she's like, damn it! And it's like just like bothering her. Like Storm let a troll comment bother her, and it made me feel good because it's like if Storm has dual troll comments and it bug her, it's just human, you know.
Is
And
that,
it's like,
is that written by Greg Pak?
yes.
Wow. It's like, can that guy do anything wrong?
No.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he probably had an internet, like Twitter. Something happened in his life. He was like, fuck you. I'm going to get paid by telling the story about it in the X-Men.
Yeah,
He's
no,
such a good writer.
It's got a good start, you know. It's
It
got a
is
good
Greg
start.
Pak. That's awesome.
So yeah,
Okay, I need to go pick that
Greg
up.
Pak's the only guy I know who like was able to do something good with the Hulk besides Peter David.
Yeah. Oh, but I love Peter David's run, though.
No, I do too.
Oh.
I'm saying besides Peter David, like
Well-
Planet Hulk.
Wait, speaking of trolls, Kirk, what
Oh.
were you saying about PewDiePie's channel? You said this earlier.
Oh, okay. I know this is a little weird, but
It's a little off topic, but
it's a
I
little
like
off
that story.
topic. But someone I was talking about. Long story short, I was talking to somebody who was playing the Destiny game that just came out. It's probably going to make me buy a new console because it looks beautiful, and I also want to play
Okay, it's
Batman.
really
Alright.
off topic there.
Really off topic. But my friend was saying, do you ever watch PewDiePie's YouTube channel? And I went, actually, I don't because I'm not really much of a gamer. Because well, it actually pertains to you, and sent me the link to one of his newest videos. Mm-hmm. And he turned off the comments.
turned off comments.
Turned off comments.
He's had
30,
enough.
The biggest
30,
YouTuber out there right now.
30 million subscribers. Who makes a ridiculously large amount of money.
Well,
Like, they might as well just put that out there right now because
Well-
he's got endorsements like crazy.
well, yeah, he doesn't make it from YouTube probably.
No,
he
he
makes a
doesn't.
chunk,
But point
But-
being, I just wanted to tell a
anyways.
story because trolls get to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, and I understand why he did it, and also I like the fact that in his video he talked about that the trolls weren't just attacking him, it was trolls attacking people who were being genuine in the comments.
well,
And
just
that's
making a
what-
toxic environment.
Yeah.
you know.
And,
That's why
Well, it's like, well,
Yeah.
it's so funny. Like the other day, I was just dicking around on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I stumbled upon this thread, and it was this whole thread about, and I don't want to give anyone any fucking clues to where it is or who it's about, but it was the nicest thread ever, where everyone was just talking about this one superhero and their costumes and which costumes they liked and what they would want to see, and and it was like everybody was nice and genuine,
Positive and
and people
supporting.
were still like, oh yeah, that was sexy, or that was, I mean, people would still make comments like that, but it wasn't gross. Nobody was being fucking gross or weird. Everybody was just genuinely like this
you
character.
need to tell me where this mythical land
I'll
exists
tell you
later.
when we're not on
Yeah.
being recorded because I don't want the trolls
There's
to
just something
come.
to be said for having an alias or not having to confront someone directly, like face to face with the
Yeah.
things you say. Mm-hmm. It's just, you know what I mean?
I think
Like,
a lot of people don't have outlets for their frustrations and for their angers, and so they go on the internet. You
I think a
know,
lot of people feel powerless.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to feel famous.
yeah, they want
You
their
know,
15
there's just
seconds.
some
Yeah.
weird.
It's-
I can identify with it, but I also can't
But
condone it.
well,
you know?
this is. I mean, well, yeah.
No, it's the best intelligent way you could put it.
yeah.
It's
yeah,
articulate, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I mean,
We'll see what the trolls
I mean,
say.
you see what's.
Someone disagrees.
I think not. Sir.
Yeah, but anyways, going back to this,
let's
going back to X-Men. Okay, so we have the last will and testament
Yeah.
of Charles Xavier. I'm really into it.
Okay, I haven't read it yet, so I need to check it
yeah,
out.
Charles Xavier. He's got a apparently he has a will, and it was delivered to She-Hulk at her new practice, Jennifer Walters.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah, which I love that they have, you know, like the characters and everything from the She-Hulk comics and stuff. And yeah, she gets the will, and she's got to go round up all the X-Men, even though they're in a schism right now. I mean, there's, you know, Logan and fucking Scott still aren't talking, but we got to get Scott
What
here.
did you just call
you
him?
know, what?
Fun Scott?
No, I don't know.
He's no fun, Scott.
I don't know what I said.
He's super terrorist, Scott.
Whatever he is, see, Scott and Logan and him are not cool right now. So they gotta put their shit aside and they gotta get them all together and fucking do this will. And then you hear some crazy weird shit that we don't know what's going on yet. Apparently Charles is married to Raven Darkholm, and he also was like dampening some kids' powers and going against everything he taught them, and all this stuff. And then they're fighting amongst each other because they're like, "Why don't you go kill Xavier again, Scott?" And then Scott blasts fucking Bobby. He's like, "Shut the fuck up," Like, it's like, "Why don't you guys get off my balls about it already?"
Can we just talk about how
I was the Phoenix.
How even in death, Charles Xavier is still the plot device to like. Oh, he was a jerk and hid secrets.
Because he's everybody's dad.
He is.
Yeah,
Even when Dad's dead, you talk about Dad.
Yeah, but like he's always been the guy who's like, by the way, there's another Summers brother out there, and I didn't tell you about him.
And then this is when Dazzler gets her big costume. But the thing is, it's not even this fucking issue isn't even about her or anything. It's just like
she has
just a cover.
3 panels.
Yeah, she's like
maybe.
it's like nothing. It's
Yeah,
like
but that's weird because that's the thing they publicize.
I know. It does. Like,
They made a big deal about it. We made a big deal about it.
It's like it's not
Hey
even.
guys, we went to Hot Topic and we pulled this vest.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
I
is
still
a
don't
hot
like her
topic.
outfit. I don't give a fuck. But anyways, yeah. Oh yeah, I read this one shot where Xavier or not.
Sure. Hold in.
Show me.
I got this. This is a one shot 100th anniversary Marvel situation or something. So they had this issue where Scott becomes the president of the United States and he marries Emma or something. But
And
then,
she's got a whip.
But then Emma gets kidnapped and all this crazy shit. And I don't want to spoil the ending of it. It's just a one shot thing, but it was kind of.
In like an alternate reality.
Yeah. It's kind of an alternate. There's some Phoenix shit going on in there. So,
Okay.
And
should we just cap off this whole X-Men talk with Death Wolverine?
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that.
Okay. So.
Oh, by the way, they're really cute.
Yes, they are. I like that whole scene when they wake up together.
Although I wanted her to end up with Scott because that would be even funnier. But whatever.
And a little creepy, but yeah, it would have been awesome. Let's talk about Death
Can
of
someone
Wolverine
just
real
explain
quickly.
to me the death of Wolverine for someone that doesn't
He's
know?
gonna die.
Death of Wolverine.
Lost his
For
healing
about
factor.
He lost his healing factor.
Now, when did he
lost
lose?
his
When
healing
did he lose that?
It
Because
was in
I've
his
never
regular,
been
it was in
fucking
his
Kira.
regular book when Kieran Gillen was writing it, I believe. And it was in the regular.
Who took him away? How did they leave? Like no one's
I
ever.
don't
Like they
remem-
keep fucking
I'm
talking about
sorry,
it, and
I don't
they
remember
never.
how he lost the
Nobody
hammer.
knows.
But it happened, and they kind of made it sort of a minor thing. They didn't talk about it very
They
much.
didn't.
But it's played out for over a year,
Yeah.
which is really rare for these type of events. So they're finally getting to this Death of Wolverine, and they've really built it.
So what we kind of have to. Oh, okay, I'm totally buying into it, and here's why. Again,
Slow down.
Charles Soule. He's the one who's writing the title, so that's why I'm like, I absolutely have
Of
to pick it
She-Hulk.
up.
Yeah.
Out of She-Hulk. I have to pick this up. He handles it great. Personally, I'm going to be okay with Wolverine not being in the Marvel Universe for a while. Obviously, this is not going to be a permanent thing. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
never
Wait
permanent.
a minute, you think he's
Yeah.
going to come back?
Potentially.
Can you
I'm
believe
willing to bet $5 on it. At least.
Fine.
Well, see, I'm a little
Fun.
torn about it because I really like where Wolverine's character is going, and I feel like he's really interesting right now.
So we finally made
And
him
they're-
interesting.
They finally made him interesting, and now they're going to kill him. But he is overused. He is.
But the
I don't
absence
deny
of him,
that he
the absence
isn't.
will make our hearts grow fonder.
You know.
Well,
Just
yeah, it'll
come
be
on,
interesting to
that's
see what
awesome.
Marvel does without Wolverine
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other characters might bloom, right?
I know. I just.
Maybe Dazzler.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, yeah, right. It's a nice thought.
Maybe
but
Dazzler will date that guy with the mustache again.
which one? There was a couple.
Wasn't he Larry or something?
Does
Was he-
Dazzler have
no,
a
that
full
was the doctor.
mustaches?
I think that was the doctor she was dating.
Yeah.
So essentially,
It was in the 70s. Everybody had mustaches.
this title, it's basically finding out that Wolverine finally goes to Reed Richards, who, by the way, would probably be my first choice if you needed like a cure. It turns out he is the last
I
decision.
go to Doctor Strange.
Doctor
Yeah,
Strange
I would go
totally
to
have
Doctor
something
Strange.
good, too. Yeah,
But I'm weird, so.
that's all right. That's why you go to Doctor Strange. And he doesn't have the healing factor, but I think Hank gave him a shot of something that helps with the adamantium poisoning. That said, Reed goes, "You need to stop popping your claws because you've been through everything."
Yeah, you're gonna tear yourself up.
Yeah, and he's like, "You were in a nuclear bomb at Ground Zero, weren't you?" So yeah, that thing, I remember that. It's cool. You still have a lot of that radiation going on. So every time you pop your claws,
Good writing.
Yeah,
Good writing.
it's like every time you pop your claws, it seeps into your body.
Oh, that's no
So
good.
he basically goes, you need to go to an island. You need to keep your head down.
Yeah.
Don't attract any problems. I will figure this out eventually.
Yeah.
Wolverine attracts problems
Oh, of course.
because he's Wolverine.
Because he's Wolverine.
Yeah.
I think he loses his eyeball in the second issue.
Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah,
Probably.
He loses his eyeball.
So, and it's drawn by Steve
Oh,
McNiven, which is absolutely
Some with an eye
beautiful.
patch and something else.
Yeah.
Well, they were calling him Patch for a while.
Madripoor.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I don't know.
This is why
That sounded like I was just saying that like a Freudian, like Madripoor.
like that word just came out of nowhere.
Sorry.
No, don't be. But so yeah, there's the Wolverine, and he's gonna die, and I think you should read it because Charles Soule rocks.
So
Yeah.
wait, I have a question though.
Yes.
Does Wolverine go like balls out still, and he's not used to doing it balls out without his healing?
Yeah,
factor?
he's still getting his
he can't stop.
Well,
himself.
that even shows up in the Miss Marvel where they have a team up because he has to explain to her. She's like, I have a healing factor like you do, but it's not as good as yours. And he's like, actually, I don't have mine anymore. And that's really the only power worth the shit. Everything else is just fucking fancy. The only real power you want is the one where you can get back up after you get knocked down.
Right.
But it's really meta because we all know Wolverine's going to come back, but they are dealing with mortality. Like when you get in a fight, you're going to lose an eyeball. If you get knocked out, you might die.
Yeah.
And,
You know what I mean? They're making
and I
doing
like
that
the
on
fact they're
Wolverine.
actually
It's
talking about the
amazing.
fact that every time he pops his claws, he has to wrap up his knuckles.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah, he's torn up.
yeah.
They're going to bleed all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
It's like, I cut my hands all the time. It sucks. Like,
Coming into my pad.
takes forever to heal.
Do you know what it's like when you get a paper cut?
Yeah.
Can you imagine what it's like for Wolverine?
Wolverine, how many times do I have to tell you, dude? Up your claws.
So X-Men, there's some good things. It's not.
We got you caught up on X-Men.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to be okay with Wolverine not being in the Marvel Universe, but like you guys were saying, we finally got him to a place where like we actually evolved the character, and now we're going to kill him.
Yeah.
There was a time when Wolverine was just a character in the X-Men.
Yes, he was.
I know,
He
right?
didn't have a title.
No.
He was only in one book.
I miss those
flight.
days.
I wasn't interested at all in that, and now I'm slightly interested. So good.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna plop out
Yes.
within the divine. So
Throwing
this is
it
my
down.
pick. This is my pick.
I just want to point out how much I love this title right now because lock screen on point.
Oh.
Just check out that lock
I know
screen.
these covers are
Yeah.
hot.
That's
These are
excellent.
hot covers.
Especially this one. I really love that cover.
That one came out great.
No, these are super good. I love it. I want to cosplay as Lucy like so bad. The premise is that every certain amount of years,
90 years.
every 90 years,
I think.
like
90 years.
like 13 or 12 gods
12 gods.
get to reincarnate in the body of a young person.
Yes.
And they have 2 years, and they're going to die
And
within
then they
those
die
2
after 2
years.
years.
And then they come back later on. So, but they have powers, but in this incarnation, they've all decided to be pop stars
Yes.
or
Yep.
rock stars.
Yep.
And then there's also, it starts with kind of like a whodunit, where Lucy, who's Lucifer, gets
Or the thin white dude.
yeah,
go
so,
Thin White
or
Duke on
yeah,
this one. That's what
or
she
David
is.
Bowie, whatever. She gets kind of framed. Maybe, who knows, where a judge head explodey during a trial of hers where she did some other head explodey stuff.
Head explodey.
And she's in jail, and they're trying to figure out if one of the other gods did it, who did it, why they did it, if she did it, what's going on. There's a lot of politics going on. And you have it all through the lens of this girl who has gone to all their concerts, and she's trying to get involved and like figure it out. But
Correct.
the art is always amazing,
And once again, with McKelvey, contemporary character design.
yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's just every time he picks up a title.
No, that dude should seriously think about designing clothes.
Why not?
Like real clothes, like have a fashion design.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I
mean,
would buy his shit.
Like there won't be
Like,
bell bottoms in there unless somebody's trying to be retro.
And especially like in the third, here we are in the third issue, and we're showing everything. By the way, the headliner joke was fantastic.
Yeah.
You need to pick this up, guys. Drawing girls with piercings, completely realistic.
Oh, yeah.
Drawing people with
Yeah.
tattoos, completely realistic. The swagger of some of the bad guys and just like their snottiness. By the way, my friend Chris totally cosplayed as this character for his birthday.
I'm glad
Last
you can pull it
month.
off.
Baphomet?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that.
No. I have abs underneath the keg of beer of my belly. But I mean, this title is in.
I will say I have one critique.
What's that?
I don't think it reads well month to month.
Well, this is why I think they created this character, the friend who's also the like know it all about certain gods and legends.
Well, yeah,
she wraps things up for you.
Well, she's like a reporter of some sort or something.
She's kind of becoming a little bit of a plot device.
But yeah, I read all of these
in order to do that. You read them all together.
I read them all together, so I don't know. I haven't done it in months and months, so you may be right about that. It might be one where you need to wait for the trade.
Once I got to the third issue, I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, it gets really confusing too, because it's like I really like gods because they're like superheroes, I think they're really interesting. No, he's cool. I'm down with all of them. They're all interesting. But I guess I maybe know more than the average person about weird mythologies and gods and stuff. So it's like I didn't have necessarily a hard time with it, but I could see other people who.
I was just confused in the third issue by who was impersonating who.
Well, yeah, you have Morrigan, and she's got 3 different forms, and who knows however many more, and it doesn't...
I can see why. I kind of knew that she kept shifting, but maybe they could have drawn it a little bit better.
I was just confused.
And she has different names, and she has different personalities when she's in these, so she, it's a whole thing. So it's got its confusing moments.
But I'm not that smart.
But by the end of the series, I do need a bearded, slightly bigger guy as a god, so I can cosplay that.
No, I'm excited. Well, we haven't seen.
I need that character created. I need it.
We haven't seen Woden yet. We haven't seen.
You're getting it.
We haven't seen him. I don't think. Have we seen him?
No.
So there you go, man. I mean, if he's. But then again, he's going to be younger though, so I don't know. Maybe he won't have a beard.
And I always like the fact that he's still playing. Gillian's still playing with the idea of going back to phonogram, where music is magic.
Don't you tease me with that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going there. This is how Daren and I actually became friends in the comic shop. It was over phonogram. But he always plays with rock stardom and, gods and mythology and how they're kind of intertwined. And he always looks at it from a new point of view, but it's still got that same relatable narrative.
Well, he definitely loves music. Like you can tell that he's just really into music.
But strangely, even going back to Phonogram, which was the original one, was about Britpop. You don't really even have to know about Britpop because there was that glossary there. It was just
he
so
had the
relatable.
glossaries and stuff. But sadly, I did know who Kula Shaker was. but Oasis and Blur and that rivalry and. I liked that there were. What were they? They were retromancers.
They were new. No, what do you call them?
Retromancers were the DJs that played the classics, but still.
But would siphon
they were phonomancers.
Phonomancers. But no, the retromancers were the guys who were playing the old stuff.
They would do the 80s night, and then they would take vampire off all the.
We could do a whole podcast. On
energy from the dance floor.
Well, Phonogram is so great, and this is a great comic too.
Yeah. So if you like this guy, do it.
This is
and
definitely
that's Dazzler, by the way.
Yeah.
I know this is some Marvel pitch that he had.
Yeah,
for Dazzler, and they probably went, no.
Dude,
no, we can't make her cool. We can't. We just gotta shit on her all the time. That's what Daz. She's the whipping boy of the Marvel universe. So
he decided to go to Image. It was basically it's a story about 12 Dazzlers, so it could be fucking badass.
yeah. It's fuck, man.
Okay, what's next?
All right, Daren, you're up. You got anything? Got something for us? What do we got?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna really blow people's minds and throw Superman into the mix.
Whoa.
This is Jeff Johns coming back to the character that's been done by many creators recently, and he's doing a great run of Superman. And I'm not gonna argue about the movie, but I am gonna bring it up. But he does something really amazing in the book. In the first issue he writes, somebody talks. He meets another character who's superpowered like him.
Correct.
And he goes, "When you dream, do you dream like Clark or do you dream like Superman?" And he says, "Clark. I'm Clark." But nobody says that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And it just showed an affection for the character and a knowledge of the character that Jeff Johns has really matured into a really, really good writer. And the strange thing is the book really reads like a Marvel book to me.
Yes.
And the best aspects of Marvel, where it's about the interpersonal life of the character. You go into it.
Well, even in the first issue, when it was kind of who do you talk to about this stuff?
Yeah, who does Clark talk to?
And I like that here he is in his lip. I mean, here's Superman. You have the Fortress of Solitude, but you don't see that. You see him as Clark in his little apartment in Metropolis, like in his leisure shirt and like on a cap backwards,
Right.
literally going through his phone trying to find somebody to talk to about like these issues.
Yeah, he calls the Batcave. And
Yeah.
Of course,
So it's like
not
Clark
there.
trying to relate to like his superhero friends, and you're like, oh, this is kind of sad and
It's
watch.
sad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's something that I haven't been reading this, so maybe I will read this now that you guys are
I'd say
talking
try
about
it.
it. You're
yeah,
convincing
give it a
me.
shot.
I think it's like you can come into it. You don't have to have read the other Superman stuff in the New 52. I really feel it's Johns is bringing a real like like a real heart and real what is the word I'm thinking of? Okay, anyway.
Well, I like the idea of
Hard.
vulnerability though for him, because it's like, yeah, you are the
Yes,
most powerful person in the world.
Humanity
Oh
to it?
yeah, that's so great, but it's like, no, it wouldn't be so
Vulnerability,
great.
yeah.
It wouldn't be so great to be the most powerful person in the world. Like, it'd be fucked up. You'd have no one to talk to about this sort of shit. You'd be super fucking lonely all the time. Like, it would be hard. It would be fucking hard.
It shows the compassion of Superman. That
There
was the
you
term
go.
I was looking for, because there's a new character that's introduced who also had parents who put him in another dimension.
To save him.
Tell me how cool this idea is.
Yeah.
There's another character just like Superman who was a kid, like in the 60s. There was some underground think tank, and it was going to go nuclear. So they put the kid in another, like the 4th or 5th dimension.
Just
And
like
the kid was-
Buckaroo Banzai.
And the kid was like raised by the people in that dimension. So it's like Superman's meeting kind of himself.
Yeah.
And he's
An
kind of trying to
analog, yeah.
mentor.
That's awesome.
This character.
Yeah, that's really interesting of him dealing with a mirror of himself, and like, what would you say to that person? And
And I also like the fact that the new character's asking questions like, why the secret identity?
Yeah.
Those were really just like fundamental questions, like watching Clark explain that to him.
Well, and it's great.
You
The guy
know.
will just like plop in Clark's pad and just lean up against the wall and ask Clark,
Yeah.
why do you have a secret identity? you know what I mean? And it's just like,
Why aren't you just Superman all the time?
Yeah.
But I am a sucker for John Romita Jr. I love Romita
oh yeah, I didn't
Jr.
even talk
art.
about that. This is
No.
John Romita Jr. doing the first work for DC Comics.
Yeah.
Of his career.
Oh, really?
Is it
Yes.
of his career? I did not know that.
If he's ever done, somebody will tell me. But I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think he's ever done.
That's
anything
still
for DC.
fine. That's just, God, it really does have a Marvel aesthetic. I'm so sorry to say that when we're talking about DC, but
Well,
Did
DC
anybody
needs
finish-
the Marvel aesthetic.
Yeah.
Is
Did
the
anybody
problem.
finish reading Superman Unchained? How did that go?
no, I dropped off on it.
I don't
Nobody
talk.
cares.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I want
Anyway,
Scott
the
Snyder
Superman
writing
book is
Batman
really
forever.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Superman book is really good.
Superman book's really great. Let's go DC really quickly.
Well, what do you want to?
Let's bring Multiversity
You're
in
doing
here.
a multiversity.
Let's start talking about. Did you just grunt because you were afraid to go into this conversation?
No, I'm not afraid of the
So
multiverse.
yeah,
Bring it on.
multiversity is
Let's
the
talk
new
about
Grant Morrison.
You
New
got
Grant
the
Morrison.
very. All right, I don't think I have the other one.
Well, I have the. I can bust
Here we
it.
go.
The cover's underneath.
Oh, look for that.
I was thinking about drawing something on the front of it. I don't know. I'm drawing for myself.
it.
What a weirdo.
Why not?
But yeah, so here's the
You
cover.
should probably like draw it and then send it to somebody.
So I know that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. But yeah, it's so explain.
Okay, Multiversity
Got
is
it.
from the mind of Grant Morrison, and of course, everything we love about Grant Morrison is that he's crazy, he's weird, he's a chaos magician, and it's painfully obvious that this idea came way before the New 52 was launched.
Yes, he's been working on it for a long
He's
time.
been working on it for a long time, and thank God that this kind of happens outside of like regular DC continuity. It is a very fun story. It's a Justice League for the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically
Captain
Justice.
Carrot.
Yeah.
I love Captain Carrot.
Yeah. Here's Captain Carrot.
You have a Superman who's black and also president of
Yeah.
his
His alternate universe.
Of his alternate universe.
Or
You've
alternate
got
Earth.
one JLA crew that's like mostly female versions.
I just want to
the
see what's up
characters.
with this little chibi Wonder Woman. That's,
Chibi Wonder Woman, I'm sure is gonna like.
I
I
want.
know you're very.
Yeah.
Any chibi. I don't know. I'm into chibis.
So it's definitely like you're seeing different variations.
Dino Cop, who's like
Dino
a
Cop.
savage
Dino Cop, I
dragon.
love.
Yeah,
I love that.
There's like a version of Savage Dragon in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I also want to bring up the fact that he's definitely writing this comic like it's not a DC comic.
Yeah.
He's writing it like it's every single character that he's ever wanted to
Well,
play
he
with,
even
and there's different
has
variations
he
from
has
other companies.
an analog of the Avengers
Yeah,
in here.
yeah.
Like he does a Marvel Avengers, Bizarro Avengers in here.
As
So,
with
I mean,
anything
it's
Grant Morrison, it's always meta. It's always
yeah,
meta.
very meta. Very well. It's the book starts off with you're reading it, and then somebody else is reading the comic, and then don't read this comic.
And then it ends with, reader, what have you done?
Yeah.
Well, because that's like that, and Carr would know the issue number, but there's an issue with the Flash, where the Flash says, like, help me. I'm trapped inside this comic book.
Oh.
Or, so that's sort of him taking off on that.
Okay, the same thing with like how Animal Man meets him in his title.
Yeah, and it's like, and the villains in it, these like weird, fucking whatever the fuck they are, they remind me of Cenobites a lot from Hellraiser, where they get this one guy and they trap him and they torture him for eons, and then he becomes one of them. Becomes like a kind of an evil dude too, kind of like that's how Cenobites work.
Right. They slowly turn you into one of them.
Which BT Dubs, watch Hellraiser if you haven't seen it lately. It's so.
By the way, the
good.
original is really fucking scary.
Have you? It's about a fucking evil stepmom, and as somebody who's dealt with those sort of issues, for me, it's amazing. Like it's like whoa, so it is scary having a crazy bitch for a stepmom. So I should probably cut that out for Thanksgiving reasons, but
Gotcha.
but yeah,
it's stepdad. He's dead. So
it's
there you go.
Hey. Good for you.
Thank you very much. High five.
Reaffirmation. I like that.
But yeah, it's a first issue. It's weird. It's meta. It's Grant Morrison. We'll see where it goes.
It's you know what, and it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's a fun.
That's what I got from it.
You got a little like mental calisthenics from that thing.
Yeah.
And I also like when he starts doing the whole like speaking to the reader thing. It really reminds me of like I do like characters that speak to the readers, not necessarily in the Deadpool sense, but like in Astro City. There's that one villain who's like been an ongoing, like, don't turn the page. Oh, you turned the page. Why did you do that?
Yeah, why did you do that?
It's fine. Also, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna stick with Future's End.
How is that?
What is Future's End?
Let's put it this way, guys. The only titles that I'm reading from DC right now, besides Superman, are titles that are not happening in DC continuity. So I don't know.
So what's the premise of the Future's End?
Future's End is basically 52 issues taking a year to retell the entire story of Days of Futures Past from Marvel. But
so it's DC Days of Future Past.
Basically.
Okay.
And it's DC OMAX have overtaken the DC universe in the future. So what you have is, what first attracted me to the title is it's Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis.
No!
And he time travels back to try to stop the OMAC, whatever causes it.
Don't hit me with Batman Beyond.
Dude, it's Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis.
That gets me.
Yeah, and basically he screws up the time travel and he shows up 5 years from current DC's continuity's future. So it's still him trying to like stop the OMAC threat and trying to find out like who's behind it. And you're finding out a lot of stuff in the gap for the 5 years. Apparently Earth 1 and Earth 2 there was a big war, and I think we lost Earth 2. So there's a lot of Earthers that are like on First Earth.
Yeah.
That are almost kind of like treated as second like refugees.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people lost.
That's clever.
Yeah, it is cool. It's kind of cool. Superman. There was a big reveal, but I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not gonna ruin it for this. But Superman's been flying around with a mask suddenly. Mm-hmm. Some DC heroes have decided to come out, like no more alter egos. Mm-hmm. Firestorm is that one guy who is the two people that come together.
Oh, yeah.
Who can change molecular compositions of things. Turns out one of them's a complete dick and might be responsible for the death of Green Arrow.
Wow.
There's a lot of cool, fun stuff going on. The writers are great. It's Azzarello and Geffen and Jurgens, Lemire. It's taking its toll on me. But I'm going to stick with it. Because when you start getting like these really great plot points, because obviously there's 5 or 6 different subplots happening with different characters all at the same time.
I can get away from you real quick.
Yeah. And when some of the like big key plots, like key plot points hit, it's also when the art starts to suffer. Because obviously you're trying to get this out on a weekly basis with multiple artists, with multiple creators.
See, that weekly shit's stupid.
It's hard. Well... Do you want to talk about Dan DiDio and trying to keep his sales up?
No thanks.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's a reason for you to keep buying an issue every week.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with like Frankenstein, Agent of Shade. He's teamed up with Hawkman and Amethyst.
Amethyst is in it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're having fun with a lot of the B characters in Future's End. There's also a really great subplot story. It's Tim Drake, who was always my favorite Robin, but who turned into Red Robin, who now has been presumed dead, and he's got a new alter ego and owns a bar, and is trying to like not remind people. Like he's trying to hide the fact that he was ever Tim Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Is his name Kirk?
Yeah, it should have been. Like I called in a favor, and it's been fun. Like John Constantine.
Yeah.
There's just fun
everybody.
characters. Your fun characters that DC doesn't utilize enough in their main storytelling. So here they are 5 years in the future with Future's End. Mr. Terrific, it seems like he might have something to do with like the rise of the OMAX.
Oh no.
Brainiac has made an appearance. Might have something to do with the OMAX.
So they're giving you a bunch of red herrings.
A lot.
Yeah.
So
So
many.
you-
I think there's actually a character called Red Heron.
Well, let us know how it goes.
Keep us posted.
Yeah.
I just want to point out the fact that, like I said, the two titles that I'm really excited about in the DC universe have nothing to do with
the
current DC
universe.
continuity.
Yeah. Well, we all know DC needs to young blood.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm telling the Batgirl thing.
Like Mitch Gaylord, you mean?
You know. What?
The movie?
No.
I don't even know the movie. I'm forgetting.
You always have these fucked up references, dude, for like
I
all
know,
this
I'm
weird
old.
shit,
I'm
man.
old.
It's like
Yeah.
Where he skates in circles?
Yeah.
Yes.
That movie, yeah.
I don't know that
Mitch
fucking
Gaylord, when Mitch
Famous
Gaylord,
hockey movie.
Oh, I don't fucking watch
Mitch
hockey
Gaylord,
movies.
who was like a big hockey player who got gold
That's
medal.
That's T-Bone. That's his fucking area of expertise. Talking the
T-Bone
wrong.
knows. T-Bone knows.
Like
They-
you bring
they-
in
but
hockey,
they
and all of a
really-
sudden it's
they
like,
really-
dude, I know what you're talking
No,
about.
they
I got
really,
that reference.
they really though they need to.
I'm gonna make her watch Youngblood tonight.
Fuck you
I'm
guys.
gonna watch it.
All right,
You're gonna
whatever.
watch
I'm giving up. All right, Saga. I'll go ahead and talk about Saga. That'll be my.
Do Saga.
Is this our last pick? Is this? Or we got?
Can be, or is there?
I don't know.
No, we can still get
Okay.
Jason Aaron,
All right.
Southern
Let's say
Bastards.
you
All
got
right.
3 more.
All right. So Saga, man,
Yeah, it's going.
that last issue was like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like.
oof.
If you're from a family who has been split up and dealt with divorce, it'll hit you. It'll
Hit you
hit you
right
right in there.
in the psyche.
Yeah, but it's so good because it just shows like a realistic portrait of
Oh
relationships.
no, those are real conversations that I remember my parents having.
yeah.
That's what kind of like.
Those are real conversations I remember from my marriage. Okay, I mean it's just that's
Yeah, well,
that's
yeah,
how
I
much
mean,
that thing hits.
yeah.
Man. It's devastating.
No, it's amazing how they can have this far out, wacky, weird universe with all these bizarro characters, and yet still have just tons of humanity and just real shit in there that
But
people
that's his
fucking
trick,
deal
though.
with.
He's
you
really
know?
not writing a sci-fi.
I know. It's
He's not.
really
Well,
writing a book
and
about characters.
And it's amazing how you have these two characters and they're not supposed to be together and they come together and they have this baby and you think they're going to be together forever and they're going to fight for their love and it's like and they fall apart just like everybody
it's like,
falls
falls in love
apart.
with the
you know?
freaking gym teacher.
What?
I'm like an old man. The gymnast. You know,
The gym teacher.
The teacher.
But no, it definitely deals with. I didn't see Saga doing this. That's probably what the genius of it is.
Yeah.
And man, like I don't know if I want to stick with the title because I'm not sure if I want to see this breaking up. But of course, I want to see where it's
I
going to go.
must. I
I
must.
need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Yeah.
It's like life.
It is. It's very
Damn
life.
it.
It's a lot of life in this comic. It's a lot of life.
Pain,
And then Prince
loss, and laughter.
Robot the Fourth,
Oh,
his
yeah.
baby was kidnapped by a disgruntled janitor, and
Which
that
I
is-
loved.
Yeah.
That was a great.
But that was also a really harsh scene. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
guys, you need to be reading Saga. You need to be
Yeah.
because
It's almost like I don't even want to talk about any plot.
I know, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, I
It's
don't
tough.
want to like talk
It's
about
just so
it,
good.
but it's like, yeah, it's still being good.
If you're the one person out there that isn't reading Saga,
yeah,
it's time to pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
it's funny. I picked one of these up from when I was in Universal City Walk, and the girl at the counter was like, "Good choice."
Oh, you got the approval.
Yeah, I got the approval. I was like,
Yeah, you should have been like, "Yes, this is the first time I've
You know
ever
what
picked
though?
up a
I used to
comic
be
book."
that. I used to be that guy without even realizing it. I used to just go like this, like that you can't see this on the podcast. I'm sort of nodding my head.
Yeah.
Like just like rad.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you do the opposite? Because I hate that guy.
Yeah. See, that's
No,
not.
I've never done that.
Yeah, the opposite sucks. Like when someone's like, "Good choice."
I was
don't mind that.
taught, and I've always believed you never make anybody feel bad about what they buy.
Yeah.
That's
That
how
happened, that happened to me before in a
Yeah,
store when I was a kid.
T-Bone has a horror story of someone.
Really?
Well, not
I wanna hear
no,
the story.
No. It's not a horror
I
story.
want to hear it. Show me on the doll
Right,
where
yeah.
the bad
I went
comic
up to
book
the
retailer
thing,
touched
and,
you.
And the guy was like, hey, would you like to check out this? I wrote it, and it was his own little novel. And I was like, sorry, man, not interested. He was like,
I'm just here for the Dino comics.
And I was reading
that Dark Horse Dinosaur where there's no words.
Right,
It's just dinosaurs doing shit.
Age of Reptiles.
Age of
Yes,
Reptiles, yeah.
yes.
I was buying that, and he was like, I should have known. Age of Reptiles, no words at all.
That's wrong.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
No words at all.
You know, it's so funny because you always hear these girls with all these horror stories of going in, and like, I really don't have any bad, terrible stories of people being dicks to me. But then again, it's like, I don't know, it's the way you carry yourself in a comic book shop, and maybe it's the way I carry myself, and I'm just like, hey, I'm here, I belong here, and people are like, well, fuck, I guess you do, you know? No one gives me shit, really, you know? Or you ever gave me shit.
Well, I mean...
Not to say that it couldn't happen.
There's lots of types of retailers. I mean, there's certain types of retailers that, you know, base their self-image on making you feel bad about what you buy. That's one approach.
Yeah. I was usually beloved by my comic book store.
I'm trying to figure out, like, did that ever work?
Yes.
Wow, that's frightening.
Because when we used to go to the comic shops, I mean, they weren't interested in converting new people to read comics. Mm-hmm. They were just like, this is my fiefdom, and I'm doing the voice.
No, it was just like how tattoo shops used to be. Where it's like, get the fuck out of my fucking place, I'll punch you in the face.
It was an elitist attitude.
Yeah, it was just like, you know, I'll tell you what's what. And
this is
my world, you know, and fuck you.
Yeah, and I've decided I'm not going to let you in on it, so get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I get you.
Because that's great, you die alone.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Well, Daren, you're up.
Okay, I'm throwing stray bullets in here. We need a black and white book.
Do it.
Yeah.
I've only read the first 2 issues of this new restart, so get me up to date.
Yeah.
Stray Bullets was a book that started back in the 90s when, like, all the Image books were going on, like, you know, the Liefeld stuff. David Lapham was cranking out these black and white crime books.
Okay.
And the great thing about them is you can read each issue as a standalone story, but you can read all the issues and it's a huge overarching story. And the main character, I think her name is Jessica Applejack. And she's ostensibly the main character of the book. She's a runaway. She had a horrible dad. She had a rough relationship with her mom. She's really had to go back and forth to a bunch of skeevy dudes. And it's a great book about life. And he stopped doing the book for like almost 10 years and has started doing it again, thank you, Image, under the Image banner. And again, you don't need to read all the other books to enjoy it, but if you read them, you will love them. It's a great book.
I need to pick these up. I'm gonna wait for the trade on this one too. It's already almost there, so I might as well just wait. But
it's almost there, but it's just like he's a disciplined comic book artist because you flip some of the pages, right? Mm-hmm. So like, you see, he uses often a 9-panel grid, and he does stuff in a 9-panel grid that most artists can't do with a huge splash page. Mm-hmm. He's a disciplined artist.
Oh, look at! I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? He's a disciplined artist. He's doing like whole worlds in each panel on a 9-panel grid, and he only breaks the
in black and white, by the way.
And in black and white, and he only breaks the grid if it's something really important.
Yeah.
This is not a lazy creator. This is a guy who knows comics and he knows visual storytelling. He's a real great storyteller.
That's an interesting topic where a lot of people don't understand how you choose to lay out your comics is a whole fucking bag of cats, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like there's so many different ways you can go with it, and like some people like to stay more disciplined like this, but then like the pacing it's like it's all pacing and weird. It's a whole. As someone who's tried to draw comics, it's
like with anything.
What people choose to do with their panels is really interesting to me.
Well, because like going back to like when you pick up Death of Wolverine, in the back, one of the supplemental like bonus features in the issue is Charles Soule and his script, and then in the script notes, what he's describing in his mind's eye of like what he wants the panels to be laid out as. And it's actually one of my favorite things to read. Yes. I don't know why it's weird, but like when you read like Alan Moore's like original scripts that artists have kept, like I love how they describe and decide how they're going to lay out the art.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
And some writers are more hands-on. Some writers are more hands-off.
It's fascinating to me. I don't know why.
If you buy the fade out #1, the variant, in the back is Brubaker breaking down a script.
Oh, cool.
So any fans of Brubaker get that variant. It's like an oversized, looks like
Yeah,
a
pop it over here.
Because now I'm gonna have to go get that. Because
Here's the
Now that I bring that up.
oversized.
It's like towards the back they have like a huge thing about, how he wrote the script, how he worked it with the art.
Here we go.
see, I love that stuff. I don't know why. I'm addicted to it.
Oh, it's interesting to see what's going on. I mean, you want to use the term behind the camera because essentially you're making a little tiny movie, except you're just drawing it instead of filming it. But it's all the same shit as making a movie. I mean, coming up with like shots and zoom up, zoom out, blah blah blah, bird's eye, worm's eye, all that shit. It's all in there, man. 180 rules. It's fucking crazy.
I'm stoked about it.
Well, what's up for you? What's your pick of the day?
Let's bring over Southern Bastards. I want to talk about how this title, Jason Aaron and Jason Latour, we always come back to this, and I was absolutely convinced that I knew how this title was going to end, and I was completely wrong. This is number 4 in the series. Each issue is a great read. It's very powerful. It's like you said, there's like a mysticism and like an urban legend to the South.
Well, there's just a fucking weirdness and creepiness about the South,
and it's very
and a violence to it, and it's haunted. It's a haunted
the way
place.
he tells the story, and
oh yeah, the ending shot was so good.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't show it. Don't show it.
When I get to the end of this title, it hit me.
I was like, oh.
I was emotionally charged and angry to the point where I'm sitting in front of my computer like, I need to compose a tweet to Jason Aaron and he's going to hear every goddamn 140 characters that I have to say. And I couldn't do it. I was so emotionally wrought over this title, especially how it ends.
Well, it's
so I need you guys to go pick this thing up.
It's only 4 issues?
Well, no,
I don't know.
This isn't the end.
I know this isn't the end.
No. He was saying the end of the issue,
it's
not
the end of the issue.
the
But it's
story.
but definitely the end of the story, and the way the story has ended. It went someplace I thought I knew, and
Isn't
I didn't.
that a rare and wonderful thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you're shocked?
Yes. It was shocking. That's all I got.
I mean, so many people want to go to, I want the familiar ending. I want to know what's going to happen.
No, I needed this. I didn't realize I needed this ending. But Jason Aaron and Jason Latour knew I needed this ending.
Well, I feel like there's something really special about this comic because it's not something that you normally think would be taking off or doing that well. It's just the story of a man. His dad's died. He comes back to town to get, figure everything out, get the house sold, but he hates where the fuck he's from. He hates his dad. He hates all this shit. He hates his town. And then he gets there, and then he gets mixed up in it because the town, there's a guy there who's like, this coach for the football team, and he's all, people are getting beat up and fucked up shit's going on. He's like, look, guys, fuck this. Like, I'm tired of running from how fucked up this place is, And I think that the reason why it's doing so well is just like, I feel like a lot of people feel like him.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're just like, fuck, man, I'm tired of dealing with this fucking problem, but let's fucking do it. Let's just fucking get it over
with. Like, no repercussions. Like the fear is gone. I just might as well just do this.
He's just like, let's just...
And there's something really empowering about somebody who's like, I'm tired, I'm not afraid anymore.
Because in our lives, I mean, when do we do that?
Yeah.
The Southerners
twice.
do it, though.
Southerners all the time. Done it twice in my life. But I love Southern Bastards, and the way that ended, I honestly am being 100% truthful when I say, like, emotionally hit me hard.
Yeah. No, it was
by the way, never wrote that tweet, by the way. Just...
Yeah.
You didn't need to, because it's right now.
Yeah. I think I was like really angry that I was going to write the tweet, and then finally I went, Southern Bastards #4 is one of the best comics I've read in 6 months. And then I just sent it.
He's done such a great job with capturing the South, too, and that small town thing, and just how it's its own, like the South is its own reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and especially like if you've lived in Savannah, Georgia, man, that place is a weird fucking bubble of its own weird stuff. It has its own weird rules, and people adhere to them, and these have been going on for generations, and this whole, I don't know, it's this being from the South, like he's doing, and he's from the South too. He's doing a great job. So.
CP represent you.
I know, you fucking Cali dudes, you guys.
I can't appreciate the South.
But it's an interesting place. Yeah. What are your conceptions of the South? Like, do you think you're...
Well, I've heard Sweet Home Alabama. and Southern Man.
That's
And you guys
No,
gave us Kid Rock.
I've read there's a lot of literature set in the South, and
yeah.
I mean,
Well, we were just talking. Me and T-Bone were talking the other day about how, somebody really needs to do some Southern Gothic fucking movie. Like just something that really captures the fucking eeriness of the South.
Every time they do, they don't.
I think True Detective got close. Not close. True Detective captured it, but I want to take it in less of a crime way and more of like a the horror of the South way or whatever.
There was that Clint Eastwood movie. You remember he did what it had Kevin Spacey. That was set in the South. All the characters are sweating all the time. So that's all I know
you are sweating all the fucking time. It's so humid.
That's all I do.
I personally, it's bad enough right now in California, but I can't imagine the humidity.
Oh, dude.
I had a friend just come back from New Orleans, and he said that during the summer, he's still got to be back in LA.
Yeah.
That the community, it hits you like a ton of bricks, and it's hard to breathe when you walk outside.
Yeah, and you just wilt. You go outside and you're just like,
So that must breed something.
It does. Well, anywhere where it's really hot, I feel like people get angry about stuff, and like it's just the simmering anger because it's just so hot. You're just uncomfortable all the time. It's like
you're literally sitting and stewing.
Yeah.
Like
You're not
it's like
selling
miserable.
the South for me.
I don't know. Well, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Like, and if you love,
Always like that. It's temperate.
yeah. Well, it's its own weird place.
You guys, is there weather in the South?
What do you mean? Is there
Well,
weather?
you're not like in Los Angeles. It's just sunny.
Absolutely, there's
we
weather
don't-
in the
we don't
South.
have
Yeah,
weather
no,
in Los Angeles.
there's sometimes there's
weather?
No, there's snow sometimes. There's definitely a fall.
we don't.
We have rain, tons of rain, lots of lightning. There's no lightning in here. I barely ever see lightning here. There's lightning there all the fucking time. Thunder.
Like there, it's
clouds.
like, what's the weather like today? Because that might depend on what I'm going to do. Here, it's like you never think about that because you don't have to.
Yeah.
No,
you
we
don't
check
have
our
to
traffic report to decide what we're
No,
going to do for the
it's
day.
traffic. It's yeah.
So since
Okay,
we
there's
got
a
around to
last
talking about
one.
weather, that means wrapping up the podcast.
last one.
Oh, you got one more?
This
Okay,
is
fine.
the last one. Prometheus.
That's what some
All right, go.
passes are, guys.
All right, Dark Horse Comics is coming out with Prometheus comics.
We just mentioned Prometheus in our Lance.
We did. You should check out we talked to Lance Henriksen about what he felt about Prometheus, and he was just as confused as the rest of us.
But he was adorably so, and that's why I love Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Thank you, Lance Hendrickson.
But yeah, I wanted to give this a shot. It's the first one. I picked it up, and I'll pick up the second one.
Okay.
I'm okay. All right.
That's a pretty rousing endorsement.
Well, I don't want to go all in on anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
who's writing
and I
this?
wasn't blown away by it.
Paul Tobin.
But it was, but they're doing a whole thing at Dark Horse where they're gonna have like an Engineers comic. They're gonna have a Predator thing, an Alien vs Predator. They're doing like all this shit. So it's like
Really?
they're all gonna be crossing
They're
over.
losing Star Wars.
What?
They're losing Star Wars.
But do you know who's writing Star Wars for Marvel?
What?
Jason Aaron.
No.
Yes.
Sorry. You're
Okay,
talking
sorry.
about that.
Prometheus.
Anyways, fuck your Star Wars. I'm talking about Prometheus here. God damn it! You can't do anything without fucking Star Wars up your ass every 2 seconds. Anyways, there was xenomorph ants in this that I thought were really fucking
Well, what's
funny.
the scenario? How did we get xenomorph ants?
So this takes place after the movie.
Okay.
And so somebody's gone out to the Prometheus planet LV-220, whatever the fuck, 226 or something. And everyone thinks that they're there to salvage, but the captain knows that they're there to find out what the fuck happened because she knows that Wayland went out there. Everybody on Earth doesn't know that. They all think that Wayland died on Earth and that he's buried there, but she knows that he's out there. So she went to find out what the fuck's going on. They get there. There's a fucking jungle on the planet now.
What?
Like there's like little creatures, like little weird fucking monkey things, running around. You got xenomorph ants. Look at that shit. There's xenomorph ants. They find like a
That would be
fucking,
frightening.
Looks very European.
it's
It's got some heavy metal flavor to it, doesn't it?
yeah, and there's some. I mean, in the very last panel, there's some xenomorph action. So
Finally, do they look like the end of the movie of
no,
Prometheus?
they don't.
Or they look like Geiger.
They look like the Giger stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So the scenario is that what we saw in the end of Prometheus when the ship crashes with all that goo on
And
it
there's still an engineer on the planet.
made a planet full of all these creatures. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, the black goo has infected the planet, and that all these weird trees, creatures, xenomorph, black
Well, that
goo
sounds
based
fun.
shit is going on. So I'm intrigued.
pretty cool.
I'm intrigued.
I love the world of aliens. I do.
I do too. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see how it
You're
goes.
coming back for
I'll
that
report.
second.
I'll report back. Let you guys know how it goes. But it's so far so good. So far so good.
Well, that's awesome.
So
Sorry that we interrupted with Star Wars.
I'm sorry.
Man, you guys
Sorry,
are
guys.
Star Wars. You're
love
going to have
Star
so
Wars.
much Star Wars next year to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Ugh.
We got like javelins shoved up our ass.
It was like, ah!
That's mean.
I just, I don't want to. Everyone's going to
crossing the
hate.
streams.
Nobody.
It really was. Like, you weren't allowed to. Like, you don't do that right now.
I'm one of those. I don't know. I'm one of those people who's in the vast minority. But that's why. That's why everybody loves Star Wars so fucking much that what makes me hate it, because everybody loves it.
Join
And
us.
anytime everybody loves something, I automatically will probably
join us.
start
Like
hating
babies?
it. Yeah.
You hate babies?
Yeah. No.
Cute.
Actually.
No, I don't really have an
Because
opinion.
everyone
I'm
likes
baby
babies, so
neutral.
I'm seriously over it.
I'm baby neutral.
Okay, so
For babies.
so that was a lot of comic books. So if you guys had to make a pick of like 2 to recommend to anyone out of all this stack,
I couldn't do it. Oh, why
I
did
can
you
do
say
it, I can
2? Actually, can we just go through them all again and rate them?
yeah,
I'm joking.
You know what? I'm gonna definitely Miss Marvel. I don't know. Miss Marvel is just capturing
Save original
my.
sin really quickly. There we go.
Miss Marvel's capturing making me like feel young again reading it. So
I like I said, I think after number 8, I think She-Hulk should be recognized by the Eisners next year.
okay, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel.
Silver Surfer, please
Silver
pick that up,
Surfer.
'cause it's so much fun.
Yeah,
She-Hulk, Miss Marvel.
I think these 3 are really. They all work very well
We
together.
forgot to bring up Sex Criminals, but we talk about it so much. It's still great.
It's still good.
Oh yeah, we forgot this.
It's still
It's
going.
okay. It's still awesome.
It's still going.
That won an Eisner too, right?
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Okay, I'd pick Fade Out and Deathmatch.
Nice.
Deathmatch. Yeah.
Okay. God, if I had to pick right now, please pick up Southern Bastards, and
Seven Bastards. Okay.
yeah, pick up Southern Bastards and
But it's like a slow burn thing. Like, don't it's
and Silver Surfer just for the sheer fun of it.
yeah.
We got that in there. Is
Yeah.
anything not here that we're recommending?
I mean, everybody always talks
God, I
about
read a
Saga.
lot.
We got
It's
$30
like,
now, so tell me what.
Well, if you only have $30, you need to order the Comic Book Girl 19 calendar.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good
yeah,
call.
So
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
right?
I know. I did the plyometrics yesterday, man. I'm getting ready. It sucks.
Anything else? Is that it?
Well, the only thing left to potentially talk about, and maybe we could do a separate thing, is the Milo Manara issue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, let me stop.
Do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah.
Do a
yeah,
wrap
let's
up.
take a
Do a
break.
wrap
Oh
up
yeah,
of this
okay.
whole episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. So that's it for today. We got hold on. Let me do this one. Okay. So that's it for today, guys. That's Plopcast number 23. All the comics. We did them all. Good job, guys.
Thank you for letting us talk about comics all freaking day,
Thank
man.
you guys
Yeah, I
for
can do that
being
forever.
here. Really
Yeah.
appreciate D-Dog Daren and Captain Kirk and T-Bone, and big props to JT, our intern.
He will be editing this, so
He will,
if there are
yeah.
any complaints, file that to jt@gmail.com.
Shoot me so I look 5 years younger and no dark circles underneath my eyes, dude.
Yeah.
Sweet, awesome.
And that's it.
All right.
Thanks, guys.